Andrew, 2 years ago, you and I sat in Romania for a 5-hour conversation. I opened with a quote from you that you haven't fully been able to explain until now. First, they try and cancel you, then they put you in jail, and if that doesn't work, they kill you. Andrew Tate, what's the real reason you were canceled? And what's the real reason you were put in jail?
Well, thank you for taking the time to do this, Jack. I'm not sure when this is going to see the light of day. However, a lot of the intimidation tactics against me are intensifying. And I've realized that many people at home who have witnessed parts of this story haven't seen or understood the entire story. And I've never told the entire story of what they actually did to me. So I feel like perhaps in case something happens to me, or perhaps they'll be successful. It certainly sounds like from the messages I'm getting that something is going to happen pretty soon, that I should just explain from the start of the very beginning of the story all the way to the end what they did to me and what everybody witnessed and what they're trying to do right now. And I think by the time I've done that, and it may take a little while, I'll be able to answer that question a little bit better.
So does this story start with Big Brother 2016 or December 29th, 2022?
This story begins a little bit before December 29th, 2022. And I've got a whiteboard here because it's quite a complicated story I want to explain to everybody. In fact, this story, like all good stories, begins with a beautiful woman, because that's how all stories begin. I was in Dubai with a beautiful girl from Sweden, and she was 6'1" and she was gorgeous. And we were living together in Dubai. And then she said to me, I'm thinking of going back to school. I said, why would you do that? That's the biggest waste of time in the world. She said, no, I want to go back to Stockholm and get a degree. I said, your man is a millionaire. I'm rich. I've retired from my webcam days. I'm living in Dubai. I'm a rich man. Why would you want to go back and do this schooling when you have me? And she said, well, I want to get qualifications and I don't know what else to do. What else is there to do? And I remember sitting across the table from her and I thought, that's a good point. What else is there to do? There is nothing else to do but go and waste your time getting one of these degrees, spending 4 years, spending $300,000. Everybody knows it's a waste of time. But if you can't get the job you want, or you can't get a job that pays a lot of money, nobody knows what else to do. So you just go and you give your money to mainstream education. So when she said that to me, I said, you're right. There is nothing else to do. And I called Tristan and I said, we're going to start a school. He's like, what? I said, we're going to start a school. We're going to start an alternative to traditional education, which everybody knows is a waste of time. We have a huge opportunity here. Everybody knows this particular product is a waste of time. It's extremely expensive and people are being forced to do it because there's no alternative. So let's give everyone an alternative. People want money. They don't want a degree. They don't want to go and study for 4 years. They want money. They want it today. We're going to teach people how to do that. Hustlers University. And we're going to open our own school and it's going to be nice and simple. So I called up a few people I knew. I called up a guy who made money with stock trading, called up a guy I knew who made money with drop shipping, e-com, called up a guy who made money with crypto trading. And I said, look, I'm going to do the big mouth at the front of it. I'm going to use my wealth and my influence to attract people to this school. And you're going to do 5 or 6 hours a day of live calls and convince people and show people how to make money online. We're going to get a Discord server. We're going to attach a Stripe account. Nice and easy. Monthly subscriptions. Split it all up. It's going to be nice and easy. They're all like, yeah, we'll try it. See how it goes. Turns out, because I'm a genius, it was very successful. Within the first week, we had 25,000 paying students. 25,000 students paying $50 a month in a week. We now have a real business. You know, it's kind of interesting. We're here in Los Angeles right now, and I asked you to do this podcast. And while we're here, it's the Milken Conference. And I'm talking to a lot of people who own these fintech companies, these edtech companies. They could never, in a million years, there's no technology company that can start day one, no cash raise, no debt, giving away no equity, just us without raising a single penny. All of a sudden, we have 25,000 students paying $50 a month. We're turning over, whatever that is, $2, $3, $4 million a month at 80% margin. From day one, we're an ultra profitable company. At a 10 or 15x multiplier, we're a $300 or $400 million business on day one. So everything is going pretty well. Everything's going swimmingly. I'm promoting this school. The girls moved to Sweden. Don't care about her anymore. I'm buying more Lamborghinis. Me and the professors are all making money. Everything is going well. These are the days of 2020, 2021. People remember me on the internet. I was more of a fringe internet celebrity. And I was telling people the truth. I wasn't scamming anyone. I was saying to the young men, if you want to make money, I'll teach you how to make money. But what I didn't realize is that I was getting into a war with big education. And big education, very much like big pharma, don't like when you take their money away. So as my school grows, as I promote it, and off the top of my head, if I use ninja memory, I had around 36,000 students at this point. I got an offer. And I'm going to write some things down because at the end of this, I want everything to make sense. And it was a sponsorship offer. So I'm going to write down sponsorship. I got approached, and I'm going to leave out certain names just in case I do manage to get out of this mess. I got approached not to buy my company off of me, which is what I thought the offer was initially. I thought I was going to sell out for 400M. I started a company 9 months later, 400M, nice and easy, right? Because people are buying technology companies that are in debt. People are buying technology companies that don't make money. People are buying technology companies that are running at a loss. I'm running at 80% margin doing millions of dollars a week. But no, instead they said, we want to sponsor you personally, Andrew. And we want you to shut up about certain things, not push the school, not say certain things, instead have certain opinions on certain topics. And in return, we're going to give you $50 million. It was a 3-year contract, $50 million. I sat there and thought, 16, 17 million a year, I'm making that already. And I get to say whatever I want. So I don't really want your sponsorship contract because it comes with all these rules. You're trying to tell me what to say. Maybe I'm, Jack, maybe I'm stupid. But I thought, what's the point in having money if you can't say what you want? Women can't drive. Sorry. It's the truth. And I'm going to say it. So I said, I'm not that interested. Thank you very much. And they said, but we have the best PR teams. So if anything bad ever comes out or anything negative is said about you in the press, our PR teams can help with that. I said, well, I don't need a PR team. At this point, I'm a fringe internet celebrity, right? I'm not in the mainstream media. I'm like, I don't care about your PR team. And they said, and we have the best legal teams. So if you ever get any trouble to protect our investment into you, we're going to make sure you have the best legal counsel. I said, I'm not in any trouble. I haven't done anything wrong. So why do I need this legal protection either? I was unaware at the time in my ignorance that those were threats. They were saying that our PR teams, which could help you, could also wreck you. And our legal teams, which could help you, could also wreck you. They were veiled threats. I didn't understand that. So I declined their sponsorship offer.
What was the industry?
It was a conglomerate, and they had significant interest in, let's say, clothing, perfumes, the standard things you'd expect a Hollywood A-lister to be pushing on a billboard. Standard, normal stuff. And then those people are very careful about what they say on certain subjects, for sure. But I thought, I don't really want to be owned, and this school's going somewhere. Like, we gain students every single day. I am going to take down the education industry. Me, Andrew Tate, one guy in Romania in his house. Me and my 6 friends on a Telegram chat are running a $400 million business. I'm going to take it all down. I don't need your money. Don't tell me what to say. I'm the top G. Go away. So I declined the sponsorship contract. They kept reminding me about these PR teams, these legal teams. So why do they keep saying this to me? I don't need PR. I don't need a lawyer. And they must have sat there and thought, this idiot doesn't understand what we're saying. So I declined the sponsorship contract. We continue to grow. A few months after that, Tristan gets a message from a girl. Can't say her name because there's open litigation. We'll call her Girl A. Girl, she's the beginning. She's the omega. She's the source of this. Girl A lives in Miami. Tristan knew her from a few years before. And she messages Tristan, hey, I want to come see you in Romania. Tristan's like, why? I've always wanted to see you in Romania. Tristan's like, okay then. And sends her a picture of his debit card and said, see you soon. She books herself a first-class flight, flies to Romania. So we have Girl A. All of this will tie together at the end. Girl A. Girl A books herself a business class flight and flies to Romania. Now, the interesting thing about Girl A, who subsequently destroyed my life, I only said hello to her twice. I don't know this person. Tristan knows a lot of girls. One day there's a girl at the house. Who's this? Oh, I knew her from Miami. She wanted to come. Cool. I don't care. Why would I care? Hi, whatever. She's there for 4 or 5 days. During those 5 days that she's in Romania for 5 days. 3 of the days, Tristan and I weren't even in the country. We were away, England, I believe. The rest of the time, she's going to the cinema, hanging out with Tristan's other girlfriends, hanging out with my girlfriends, hanging out with our personal assistant, Georgiana, who ends up going to jail, hanging out. And after about 5 or 6 days, she vanished. And I said to Tristan, "Where's girl A gone?" He goes, "I don't know. She blocked me and left." It's like, "Why?" He goes, "Probably got jealous of my other girlfriends." Like, "Yeah, probably." Who cares, right? We're just guys. We're making money. We go to school. We got a big mansion. We got Lamborghinis. Girl A wants to come. Girls always want to come. There's 100 girls by the pool. Who cares? Girl A comes. Girl A vanishes. No one thinks anything of it. About 3 days after girl A vanished, April of 2022, we were sitting in our house at 1 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon when armed police turn up, SWAT. And the SWAT raid our house, bust down our door, and running with machine guns, pointing weapons everywhere and yelling at us to get on the ground. And of course, we comply and say that they're there because there has been a human trafficking allegation against my brother and I, which has been instigated from the American embassy. So they didn't just send the normal police, they sent the anti-terror police, because when the American embassy calls the police, it's a different kind of response. If you're a normal person in Romania and you call the police, they'll send a police car or a guy. No, this was the full army tanks, 30 dudes, head-to-toe SWAT.
Did you have security at this time?
We did have security. At this time, it wasn't to the point that we currently have security. We just had like a guy who watched. But they put MP5s in his face. He was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know, my paycheck is my paycheck, but what's all this? So these guys bust in April of 2022. Please find and play the clips of our first ever arrest, because that's what I'm talking about. Our first one. They say, "We're here for human trafficking and kidnapping." We're like, "With all due respect, officer, what the fuck are you talking about?" And they said, "Girl A has reported to the American embassy that there are kidnap victims and victims of human trafficking in this residence." I turned to Tristan and I said, "Tristan, she's a 7. Look at all the mess you got us in. She's not even a 9. She's a 7. Tristan laughs. I laugh. The police officer laughs. Everyone laughs. They look around the house. The house was completely empty. It was just Tristan and I there. No victims. We'd had no friends there. No girls. No one's there. They searched the entire house for drugs. They looked for drugs because girl A also reported us for being drug dealers and steroid abusers. All this list of crimes. They find no drugs. They find no steroids. They find no contraband of any kind. Our firearms are licensed, so that's not against the law. They go through the entire house in a 4-hour house search. They then seize some of our goods. I'm going to go into seized goods later. They take all the cash they can find, all of our diamond watches, our bars of gold. They left the cars at this point, but they took anything valuable we had laying around, watches, gold, jewelry, this kind of thing. I don't know why, but they did. So now we have the assets.
What's your estimate on the number of assets taken on that one?
Well, there was a lot of house raids, but on that particular house raid, I'd say all in all, in cash, about 100 grand, and in watches, about 500 grand. So about 600 grand of assets in the first raid. But no bank accounts, no crypto exchanges, no cars, just things they had laying around the house. I explained why they had to do that. They said it's protocol in Romania, in case these proven to be proceeds of crime. It's like crime. There's not even a girl in this house. Who have I kidnapped? They're like, yeah, you know, we're just responding to the American embassy. We don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. We're just the muscle. You have to go talk to the detective. The detective's in the office at DCOT. I said, who the fuck are DCOT? Never heard of DCOT before. Turns out they'd be my best friends later on. He goes, yeah, there's a guy at DCOT office waiting for you. We just have to come here, search for victims, take the money. We're the muscle. So after searching our entire house for 5 or 6 hours, the media is now outside at this point, so there will be video of this. They put us in cars. Media's outside saying human trafficking investigation, all this stuff. They start to slander our name with all this garbage, and they drive us to DCOT's head office. We get there around 11 p.m. House raid began at 1 p.m., in the afternoon. 11 p.m., we walk into this office, and there's a prosecutor sitting there. We sit down. The prosecutor says, why did this girl say there was girls kidnapped in your house? And I said, brother, I haven't got a fucking clue. I only said hello to her twice. Ask Tristan. It's Tristan's girlfriend. I don't know. And then the prosecutor goes, well, Tristan should have bought her a handbag, and laughed. And then I laughed, and we all laughed. And I was like, American girls are crazy, bro. Me too. This crap happens. Maybe in Romania it's not a big thing, but in America happens all the time. These girls are nuts. They just make stuff up. He goes, yeah, I heard about that, but I didn't know it's actually this bad. I was like, tell me about it. He goes, why did she call the American embassy? I was like, bro, I don't know. Just tell me what you need from me. You've been to the house. There's no one in the house. We have CCTV in our house. You can take the cameras and see her walking in and out the house by her own free will, getting pizza, going out to party, going to restaurants. You can see it all on camera. Please also find the clip of her walking in and out the house by her own free will, getting Ubers, getting taxis, ordering food, ordering Amazon packages, everything on Tristan's credit card, by the way. It's all there. So we're like, here, take the cameras. Look, do what you got to do, bro. He's like, okay, go home. Cool. So after about an hour and a half of interview, midnight, we go home. Tristan and I sit around the pool laughing. Like, this girl A is crazy. We've lost some money, but this is a big misunderstanding, Jack. Like, we haven't done anything. This is all a misunderstanding. Let's just get back to what we do best, which is focus on promoting our school. Right? So we're on our emergency meeting podcast. We're traveling the world at that point. We have no restrictions of any kind. We're promoting our school. We're going to France. We're going to Italy. We see Dan Bilzerian in France. We're traveling around. We're doing all this stuff. We're having a great time. We're on yachts in Croatia. We're doing all this crazy stuff. And then one day, I call my lawyer and I say, they raided our house in April. It's like July now. Why is that case not closed? And he goes, this is Romania. Everything takes forever. It's a slow system. They're probably going through the CCTV. I was like, yeah, but this is so open and shut. My lawyer's called Alin. I'm like, Alin, this is so open and shut. What could they possibly be doing? He goes, yeah, it's Romania. They probably have to go through all the hours of footage. It's going to take a while. Don't sweat it. I'm like, I had this bad feeling. But what can you do, right? I haven't done anything wrong. So we're still traveling. And now, because of the school, and because I'm promoting the school so heavily, I start moving from fringe internet celebrity to mainstream celebrity. I start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I think at the beginning of this story, my Instagram had 100,000 followers. By this point, I'm up to like 2 or 3 million. It's getting bigger and bigger. Back when Instagram mattered, not like now. So we're pushing the school, having a nice time. And then all of a sudden, one day, I was sitting in my cigar room, smoking a cigar. My girlfriend comes in and goes, have you seen this? She passes me her phone. I take her phone, and it's a picture of me, and there's some blurb underneath it about how I'm toxically masculine, I'm a misogynist, a racist, and a homophobe. And I am the reason that the entire culture of the world is wrong. Cancer's my fault. Everything in the world's my fault. I'm the world's worst man, and I'm dangerous and need to be deleted from the internet. And it's on an NGO page for a charity protecting the rights of gays. Wait, that's weird. Whatever. And then she goes, and have you seen this? And she scrolls again, and it's the same picture with the same blurb explaining that I'm the worst man in the world. Copy and paste, exact one, on an NGO about wildlife protection. It's like, that is weird. So we open Instagram. I open it on my phone, and this exact picture with the exact same copy and paste wording, I find like 7 different accounts, random accounts for random charities and NGOs, posting that I'm the worst person in the world. Now, for anyone watching this, the media does not tell you what has happened. The media's primary objective is to prepare you for what is about to happen. They need to condition your mind so that when they do something, you're ready for it. If they instantly say, you're locked in your house, you can't go outside, there's a revolution. If the media constantly reports about how dangerous it is, how a lockdown might need to happen, how it's unfortunate, but we must prepare for the possibility of a lockdown. Over weeks, your mind softens to the idea. So when the lockdown comes, there's no revolution.
It's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise.
What were your comment section? What was your comment section like at that time, too?
Well, everyone loves me on my account, but on these accounts where they posted this, there's thousands of people saying, yeah, he's scum, he's scum, he's scum. And I was like, I mean, yeah, I made some jokes. Yes, I said women can't drive. Yes, I said some things, but I mean, I'm not blowing up girls' schools in Iran. Like, come on.
Triple tap.
triple tap. So I was like, this is a bit out of control. They're conditioning the world for what's about to happen. Now, around this time, someone inside of my school said, we should start an affiliate marketing campus. And I said, that's a good idea. And we started with Amazon products because it's our job to teach all the people inside of our school how to make money online. You're a young man, you join our school, you pay a monthly subscription, and you start earning money same day. And one of the students said, I take affiliate links from Amazon. What I do is I go onto Amazon, I find a lawnmower, I take an affiliate link for that lawnmower, then I buy the lawnmower, and then I use the lawnmower or do lawnmower reviews on TikTok. And then I say, here's the lawnmower I'm using, and I put the link. And every time someone buys the lawnmower, I get paid. Well, that's a great idea. So we got a new professor, a guy I knew, who was in charge of affiliate marketing. And he started doing 4 or 5 hours of calls a day, pushing affiliate marketing. And then a student said, hey, why don't we affiliate market for the school? So that's a good idea. He goes, yeah, the school's great. So why can't I tell other people to join the school from my link and I get paid when they join? So that's another fantastic idea. Why not? So we launched an affiliate marketing campus for the school. And then the problem we were having is a lot of our students are from all over the world, right? So if you're a teenager from Peru and you say, hello, I have joined the school, I make so much money. Everyone's like, yeah, all right, scam, whatever, bro. But people trusted me. So people would say, hey, I don't want to use my own videos. I don't want to use any videos of me. I want to use videos of you, launch a Tate fan page, and then sell with my affiliate link. And I said, fine by me. Now, this was revolutionary at the time. Me, my cousin, when we came up with the affiliate marketing campus, we invented clipping. We ruined the internet. That's how the internet became what it is today. And that was the basic premise behind it. We're not going to copyright strike you. Back then, if someone took your content, you copyrighted it. Not us. Take our content. Take the views money. So people were taking videos of me, posting on their channel, earning hundreds of thousands of dollars in views money, keeping that, plus selling the school and getting paid off that. So everyone was getting rich. And the school starts to explode. Gets up to 271,000 students. I don't want to do the math off the top of my head at around $50 a month. Yeah, 13, 14, $15 million. I was probably keeping between 9 and 10 million American dollars every single month.
How many times were you banned at this point?
I'm not banned.
You've never been banned?
At this point, I haven't been banned.
Okay.
I haven't been banned. So the affiliate marketing campus is running. But all this NGO stuff starts. And I know how the world works, so I knew they were conditioning people's minds for something. And a perfect example of this, I want everyone at home to understand exactly what I'm saying. Before they got Diddy, they released the tape of him beating up Cassie. That tape of him beating up Cassie in the hotel was 10 years old at the time they released it. They'd been sitting on it for a decade. Why was it never released? Because they didn't want to get him. When they wanted to get him, they then released it, so everyone said Diddy's a piece of shit. So when he got arrested, everyone thought he was already guilty. They knew they were going to arrest him, so they prepared the public for his arrest. So when I saw these NGOs, I was like, they're preparing for something. What are they preparing for? Tristan's like, who gives a shit? Tristan's the optimist in this story. He always has been the whole way through. Who gives a shit? We're fucking rich. We're helping young men how to make money. All of our students make more money than professors, than their teachers. We're doing good in the world. We're teaching young men how to escape the matrix and make money. You're making $10 million a month. We ain't doing nothing wrong. We haven't done anything. Who gives a fuck about what some wildlife or some fucking bullshit homosexual NGO has to say about us? They're just bitter and they're just jealous, haters. Fuck them. Lights a cigar. Tristan. Like, maybe you're right, T. Maybe it doesn't matter. But there was a problem. And the reason I think the NGOs attacked me is because there was a flaw in our master plan. And the flaw in our master plan is that we were working with a mercenary army. So now we have the affiliates, which are linked to the school, Hustlers University. Because the affiliates worked out that they make the most money if they put up the most controversial clips of me. Because if you put up the clip, not the whole clip, where I say in bed that if a girl picks up a machete and tries to attack me, I will take the machete off her, put it in her face and say, shut up, bitch. No, not the whole clip. They take the last part, put a machete in a girl's face and say, shut up, bitch. Only that part. And post that. because that gets the most engagement. That goes the most viral. They get the most sales. And they're mercenaries. They're in it for the money, these students. So in many ways, they're making me look bad. And I say to Tristan, students are making me look kind of bad here, the way they're putting all this stuff out. And Tristan's like, who gives a shit? You're cool. We're making $10 million a month. Who gives a fuck? Bad guy, good guy, what does it matter? So when all of this is going on, the NGOs pop up. And from then on out, from that exact moment, Jack, I knew I was fucked. I just knew I was fucked. But I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. This is in August of 2022. 3 days later, I wake up, and my girlfriend wakes me up next to me. Andrew! I'm like, whoa, what? Look at this. Gives me her phone, and there's a BBC News article. Andrew Tate, misogynistic influencer, is banned from social media for being a dangerous person. Back then, now bans are a common thing. Everyone's desensitized to it. Back then, the only people who had been blanket banned on the internet were Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes. I was number 3. And I was bigger than them. And by this point, I had become, in 2022, because of the affiliate army, the most Googled man on the planet. My mercenary army grew to 28,000 fan pages, posting endless Tate content. Do you remember the days where you couldn't get rid of me? You couldn't get rid of me from the algo. I was TikTok, I was Instagram, I was everywhere. 28,000 kids posting me all day, every day. We built an interactive library of everything I'd ever made. It was all transcribed. So when you went into the interactive library, you'd type Bugatti, every Bugatti clip would come up. You'd type heartbreak. Every time I had ever said heartbreak in any video, because they were transcribed, it would come up. You could make lifestyle edits, and they'd take it all and they'd post it, post. And if their account got banned, because they're from Peru and they're making $300 a day affiliate, they're not going to go get a job for $300 a month. They just make a new one. Like a virus, like Agent Smith in the Matrix, like ants. You can't kill them. And they're just out there posting. And then they realize they make the most money if they post my most controversial stuff. And my most controversial stuff is out there by 28,000 fan accounts posting 4 or 5 times an hour. And the entire algorithm is mine. And this may be the most Googled man on planet Earth. My school's now at 300,000 students. $15 million turnover a month. 15 million times 12 is 15 times 10, 150. Plus the 30 is 180 million turnover at 80% margin, a 10x multiply, which is pretty simple for an ed tech business, especially with a margin like mine. $1 billion business, 1.2 billion, 9 months old, me and 6 dudes in the Telegram chat. I'm a billionaire. And I open up this BBC article on my girlfriend's phone, and it said that my views have become so destructive and I'm doing so much damage to the planet and to the consciousness of young men that I had to be removed from all social media. This was on her phone. I was like, well, that's inconvenient that they've deleted me everywhere. I was like, let me have a coffee. So I put the phone down. I went to get a coffee. And as I was walking to get a coffee, I opened up my phone. When I opened my phone, it said, your Apple ID is signed out. Well, that's weird. Okay. Went to click Twitter. Your Twitter's signed out. Clicked WhatsApp. Your WhatsApp's been deleted. Clicked Instagram. Of course, signed out. Clicked Gmail. Signed out. They pressed a button, Jack, and wiped every single thing from my phone. The Apple ID itself, so I couldn't download apps, and every single application was logged out. Uber, Airbnb, Skype, any app on my phone, all of them were gone.
Coinbase?
Everything. Every single app. All of my bank accounts, Coinbase. I had a NatWest and a HSBC bank in England. They seized all that money. We'll talk about that soon. Everything was frozen. Everything was gone. My entire phone just became a brick. And I called a friend of mine from my girlfriend's phone. I said, how the fuck can they do this? And he said, they put you on a terror watch list. They can only do that if you're on a terror watch list. And I was like, surely not terror. The fuck? I'll call you back. Here I film my final message.
All that's left for me to do is have a positive impact on the world. I don't think anybody truly wants to go down as a villain. Maybe some people do. I don't. I wasn't raised that way.
I sit down on the chair and I get my final message to the world. I decided to retire from the internet. I thought, you know what, Andrew? You made $100 million. You got $1 billion business. They're after you. You're starting to feel a bit paranoid. It's getting hot. You have a very credible source telling you you're on a terror watch list. Once you're on a terror watch list, all bets are off. There's no more law. There's no more constitution. All that's gone. They can shoot you in the middle of the street. Police can come up and just shoot you and go, terrorist threat. End the story. And the basic premise was that I had so much power over the young men in 2022 that I could have caused a revolution. They're probably right. I probably could have said, fuck the Matrix, Westminster Palace tonight. Let's take over. And it would have been the fucking end. Please understand, the Matrix does not fear women. This is why they empower women. This is why they constantly attack me for being a misogynist. They want women to be as powerful as possible because you know what happens when women are powerful? Nothing. If women protest, if 100,000 women march through this town right now and protest, it's inconvenient. If 100,000 men march through this town, everything burns and the entire government changes. Men can fight. Men are armies. Women don't matter. They don't give a shit if women protest. They don't give a fuck. So you want women at the top of the pyramid. You want women as powerful as possible so that women are in charge of society so that you can just stay at the top of your castle stealing and raping and pillaging from everybody. Just stealing all the money, destroying society, importing whoever, breaking all the laws. And what's going to happen? A bunch of women are going to nag. Give a fuck. When men get together, it's not called a protest. It's called a revolution. Women don't do revolutions. They can't. So they deliberately empower women to subjugate men. That's why masculinity has been under such attack. And I came along and was the most Googled man in the world promoting masculinity, not realizing this was putting me at war against the Matrix itself. I wasn't even political at that time. I didn't even talk about political parties. I just said to young men, stand up for yourself, go to the gym, stick for what you believe in. You're allowed an opinion. You matter too. And that was considered so dangerous. I ended up on a terror watch list and they wiped my entire phone. And the country that put me on a terror watch list, you want to guess?
US.
Incorrect, sir. England. Great Britain put me on a terror watch list. The Foreign Office, in the paperwork I later saw, which they wrote to the Romanians, said, he is an unchecked source of influence. And they believed I was going to cause a revolution. Now, anybody at home who thinks that the intelligence agencies that are here to protect and serve us aren't primarily concerned with preventing a revolution is a fool. The CIA, the FBI, MI6, MI5, whoever, they don't care about much besides two things. Stealing money from around the world in the form of resources. There's a country here, Gambia. If we overthrow the president and put in a new president, we get control of the copper mines. Fuck democracy. Fuck who dies. We want copper because this is the American empire. Overthrow the Gambian government. Or I don't know, imagine there's oil in some random country, Venezuela. Who gives a shit? That's what they do. And the second thing they have a concern with, besides stealing money from all around the world, is preventing revolution. The primary objective of intelligence agencies today is to prevent a revolution. Do you think when you walk down the street and talk to basically anybody out here, they don't want to rebel? The system's fucked, bro. We all know the system's fucked. Nobody can buy a house. Everything's fucked. Crime's getting worse. Taxes are going up. Currency's inflating. Everything's fucked. Everyone knows it, but we don't rebel. Why? Because there are many mechanisms, social media algorithms being one. Two, how hard they punish the people who even consider doing something as silly as waving a flag outside the Capitol. Their primary objective is to prevent a revolution. And they said the most Googled man on the planet now, who's saying young men should stand up for themselves and not be afraid to die for their ideas, the most popular person on the planet, is talking about how the Matrix is enslaving them all, how they need to resist, break free. They watched my videos, MI6, and they thought, this is a national security threat. He's on the same level as Osama bin Laden. And that was the UK government.
Why?
That is when my phone got wiped.
Why the UK? What's the most important thing we need to understand about UK politics at that point in time?
The UK has always been more left than even the Dems. And at the time, the Dems were in power when all this was happening. Please remember, guys, when all of this was happening, you got banned on the internet for saying there was more than 2 genders. They ban you. You got banned for saying the COVID vaccine was dangerous. They ban you. The internet was complete Stasi. Now, why couldn't they just ban me? Well, they did. But why didn't it work?
Clipping.
28,000 fan pages. So when I made, and I think another reason to answer your question, why the UK decided I was the threat, is because although I am born American, I grew up in England. I'm seen as English. I'm from Luton. And I was bigger in England than I ever was in America.
Really?
The English people were really tired of their government, and they still are. So when I make my final message, I talked to Tristan. I said, enough is enough. We've done well. Tristan goes, we can do more. I said, Tristan, have you ever heard the story, the sword of Damocles? And he said, yes. And I recited the story to him about how there was a king once in a chair, and the slave walked in and said, how does it feel to be in that chair? How does it feel to be the king? All these beautiful women are feeding you grapes, and everyone's fanning you, and you give an order, and everyone does whatever you say. It must be so amazing to be the king. And he said to the slave, tomorrow you get to be the king. Tomorrow you can sit in this king's chair, and I'll be the slave. And the slave is so excited, he goes home, he can't sleep. He wakes up the next day, so excited, he runs into the chamber, sits on the throne, he gets to be the king. The beautiful women start giving him the grapes. He's giving orders, do this, do that, bring me this, bring me that. They're doing everything he says. He feels so happy. And then he looks up above him and he sees a sword hanging by a single horse's hair. And for the rest of the day, he can't enjoy his life because he knows at any moment that hair can break and the sword will fall on his head and he will die. And the king who has taken his place, who's the slave, looks above him. He has no sword. He has a humble life, but he has no sword above his head. So when you're at this stage, when you're the most Googled man in the world, you're making all this money, but everyone's out to get you. Everyone else is like, I'd love to be the king. Everyone says it. I'd love to be as famous as you. You're the most famous man alive. I walk through Beverly Hills and more people come up to me than DiCaprio. They swarm me. They don't swarm the A-listers. They don't swarm the movie stars. They don't care. They all swarm me. I was like, that must be cool. Yeah, but there's a sword above my head. I tell Tristan the story. I explained to him the sword of Damocles. He likes his cigar. Doesn't give a fuck. It's Tristan. I said, fuck him. Then I said, what about the story of Icarus? Remember the man who flew too close to the sun, Tristan? Again, keeps puffing on his cigar. Andrew, fuck these people. And I love Tristan with all my heart. And the best thing about our relationship is that we listen to each other. And I said, if you say fuck them, if you say it's war, it's war. He goes, it's war. So I fucking let's run it then. So I was the one saying, let me do a final message and go away. And Tristan was like, no. We've just gotten started. So I do my final message. I explain that I misunderstood. That little clips have been taken out of context. That I'm a nice guy. That I'm just trying to teach the world entrepreneurship. I haven't really done anything wrong. I said women can't park. They can't. Get over it. Final message goes out. 28,000 fan accounts jump on the final message. I'm getting more views than the BBC. And for the first time in history, they banned someone and he got bigger. When they banned Alex Jones, he went away. When they banned Nick Fuentes, he disappeared to the corners of the internet, the fringe corners of the internet. But when they banned me, I got bigger. I didn't get smaller. I got bigger. And you get 3 lives per your question. First, they try and shut you up. Second, they try and put you in jail. Third, they try and kill you. So when I noticed I was getting bigger and my school's gaining more and more and more students, I'm making millions of dollars a day, Jack. I go to sleep and wake up with $2 million new dollars. It was ridiculous. I said to Tristan, something's going to happen. We have to get out of here. The day I said that to him, we were sitting around talking about it, and by coincidence, by providence, I do like to believe that perhaps I live in the Truman Show. A man comes to my house, a Romanian guy. I'm not going to say names. I need to talk to you. I said, brother, I'm busy. Not today. I said, it's important. He's an important man in Romania. So okay, comes, we sit down in my secure room, and he said, you need to buy some land. I'm like, bro, what? He goes, you need to buy some land. He gets out this map, and he goes, there's some land here. It's $7 million, and you should buy it. And I said, Why should I buy it? This is 2 hours by dirt bike to reach this land. It's not even near a road. There's no electricity. There's no water. I can't build anything here. I'm going to have to get an ATV and drive all day to even reach this land. It's in the middle of the Carpathians. What do I want to do with this? So my dad was given it after the fall of communism, and he wants to sell it for $7 million. You should buy it. And I said, well, I don't have time. I don't want it. He said, you're going to need the friends. I said, why am I going to need the friends? I have friends in Romania. Without incriminating myself. I have friends. He said, there's a lot of conversation about you in Romania in the power structures right now, and I think you're going to need the friends. And my stupid ass, even though I knew it was a shakedown, thought it was about all the news coverage of my deletion. I was like, well, the BBC is saying I'm a horrible person and I live in Romania and they deleted me from social media and now my final message has gone out and it's on 28,000 fan accounts and I'm the talk of the town and all this is going on. So of course some high-level Romanians have fucking spoke some shit about me and now they're trying to shake me down. This is all gay. I'm like, bro, I'll let you know. I'll get back to you in a few days. He left and I said to Tristan, let's get the fuck out of here. Let's just go. He goes, where? I said, Dubai. Dubai's a pretty stable place. You don't get shot by accident in Dubai. I was like, Tristan, I know you're saying fuck them. I can feel the heat. Something's going on. Let's just go to Dubai a little while. He goes, fuck it. Let's go to Dubai. I don't give a shit. Let's go. Cool. Big private jet. All the girlfriends on the jet. All the babies, all the baby mamas, 30 women, fucking me, Tristan, like a easy jet flight full of chicks. We go to Dubai. Go to some big, beautiful house. Put the clips in of that house with the Bugatti outside. Georgiana's with us. She's driving the Bugatti outside that big, beautiful house in Emirates Hills, $250,000 a week. Chump change. We're rich. 250 grand a week in rent. Shisha, having a great time. Did my first podcast with the Nelt Boys and Bradley Martin in that house. Zuby, I did a podcast with Zuby. And during all these podcasts, I could feel the heat. Rob Moore, my first Rob Moore, when I was in Dubai, I'm the biggest thing in the world. Everyone's saying, can we do a podcast? Can we do a podcast? I'm like, yeah, sure. Everyone's flying to Dubai to talk to me, and I'm saying in all these podcasts, you get 3 lives. And if they ever try and put me in jail for something I didn't do, I hope everyone at home is smart enough to understand it is a setup. I said that verbatim. Please play the clips of me saying that verbatim on repeat in Dubai after all of this has happened. After about a month in Dubai, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, Tristan, I still feel uneasy. And he goes, why? We've made it. And I remember him. I remember the gesture. He goes, we've made it, and does this. And he gestures his hand over at a pool behind our $45 million house filled with women. Because we made it, bro. And I was like, 35 years old? I had like $30 million maybe. Now I've got hundreds of millions of dollars, which I've made inside of a single year. You can't just make it like that. Life can't be that easy. It was a fucking few of my friends and me, teaching people it wasn't a scam. The reason it worked is because it worked. If it was a scam, it never would have took off. It took off because we were teaching kids to actually make money. Everyone's making money. I'm the most popular man on the planet. Everyone loves me. I'm top G. I'm famous. I've got hundreds of millions of dollars. I've got this big house in Dubai. I've got beautiful women. I've got kids, everything. I'm like, have I won? She's like, yeah, we won. It's over. We won. Like, it can't be that easy. He goes, I think we won. So we're in Dubai for about 2 or 3 months. I'm doing viral clips. I did the clips with Aiden. Aiden came out there, did the podcast with Aiden where I had the robe on and he's sitting there and I'm doing all these things. We're in Dubai. And then one day we get a phone call from Piers Morgan's team. You're a cultural force and we want to talk to you. I was like, Tristan, see, I told you, here's the setup. I told you they want us to go to England. They're going to arrest us. We're on a terror watch list in England. Tristan's like, stop being a pussy, bro. It's Piers Morgan. He's a bitch. I'm like, no, but if we go to England, they're going to fucking arrest us. He goes, are you scared of Piers Morgan? I'm like, no, fuck Piers. And he goes, okay, but when you go on there, just be a little bit calmer. Because my first Piers Morgan, I didn't beef him. He goes, this is probably a test. They just want to see, like, if you're really a terrorist. Go on there, be a bit calmer, be a bit nicer, explain the truth, explain that you're a nice guy. Don't let anyone think you're a danger. Go on there. And if you watch my first Piers Morgan, I'm a lot calmer. I'm a lot more like, I deliberately decided not to go there and be top G. To be a lot more understandable as a human. So Tristan convinces me that the British state just wants to make sure I'm a sensible, rational actor. So we leave our phones, we leave our laptops, we leave everything sensitive in Dubai. We get on a private jet with a small suitcase and we fly to England. And as the plane was coming down into London Heathrow Airport, I said to Tristan, they're going to arrest us when we land. He goes, we'll see. We land, straight through. Straight through, no problems. Did the podcast with Piers Morgan. I deliberately let him clown on me a little bit. Like, I'm just a guy. I'm just an idiot. I have some ideas, and I believe men are people too, and men should be able to stick up for themselves, and that we live in a gynocracy, and that it's all misandric, and that men are getting destroyed, and women have all the power. But I believe that men are human as well, and that men are allowed rights. And he came at me saying, I'm a misogynist, I'm this, you're a terrible person, you're Hitler, all this shit. And I'm just like, yeah, well, I don't think so. Really nice, really calm.
Is this November, roughly?
This is December of 2022.
Okay.
Just before Christmas. And I do the Piers Morgan show, and the reception is fantastic. All the comments under that show are 100% on my side. Piers Morgan gets completely fucking slated for being a dickhead to me. Everyone loved me. I go to Sloane Street. I buy $300,000 of Christmas presents for all my girlfriends, all the kids, all my baby mamas, whatever. I'm running around with security, just walking into Harrods, buying. I didn't know what the price of fucking anything was, Jack. Money had lost value. Even billionaires don't have 350 million liquid. The fuck? I'm just beep, 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 beep. Bags of shit. 4 security guys carrying all my shit. Beep, beep, beep. Finished in London. I did the Pearl podcast where I sat down with Pearl. I don't know if you ever saw that. And I sat down with all the girls, and it was Brittany, what's her name? Can't remember. She's known for being a bit promiscuous, and she was on the podcast. And I was really nice to her. I offered her a tangerine, and it was a nice time. And then I said to Tristan, Tristan, I'm sorry. You're right. Nothing's wrong. Everything's fine. England is supposed to be the ones who put us on the terror watch list. I'm here in England. Nothing's happening. I'm spending all this money. No one gives a shit. I just did Piers Morgan. It's fine. Everything's fine. Maybe it's all wrong. Maybe we should go home. And then Tristan turns around to me. He goes, no, if we go back to Romania, you're going to be fucking panicking and you're going to be worried. And I want you to have a nice free life. So let's go back to Dubai and just chill a little bit longer. All right, cool. And then Tristan goes, but before we go to Dubai, I want to repack my suitcase and we need to drop all these presents off because we have $300,000 of shopping. We have 2 cars of bags. He goes, let's go to Romania, drop the bags off, and then go to Dubai. It's like, good idea. So we land at 9 p.m. in Romania, straight off the plane, no problems. All the bags in the house, all the bags in the car. And we're due to take off at 6 a.m. We go to sleep. And at 4 a.m. that morning is the video the entire world saw when they raided our house again and they dragged us out for human trafficking. They searched the house. They took all the cars and they started going through everything. That's the video everyone saw. That's where we are in the timeline. When they busted that door open, Jack, at 4 a.m. for the second raid after we had landed, when I heard the door go. I reached across and grabbed that famous machete from that machete video. And I picked it up and I stood up in my underwear. And when I saw the door to my bedroom bust off the hinges and police ran in, I felt relieved. I thought it was the Serbs, the Albanians. I have enemies everywhere. Turks. I thought it was the other team. When I saw police and they pointed the gun at me, I was like, oh, thank God. Just you fucking guys. What the fuck do you want? Because I had held a machete. The fucking guy runs up and front kicks me across the fucking room. Thank God his gun didn't go off. They jump all over me. The girl who's in my bed, they jump all over her. And while I'm on the ground, while the guards with the guns, with the fucking SWAT, have got their knees on my back, while I'm on the ground in my fucking bedroom, you know what the first thing they said to me was? Where's the Bugatti? I swear to God. I was like, what the fuck? What? This is about my Bugatti? What? Because before that, and please play the clips, I was driving around Romania in my Bugatti. I flew my Bugatti from Dubai to Romania, and I was driving around Romania. But when I flew back to Dubai, because of the heat, I'd flown the car back to Dubai. So the Bugatti wasn't in Romania anymore. So I think they're there for the Bugatti. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Shut up. Drag us to the living room, put me in there, put Tristan there, handcuff us. We sit there. Eventually, the detective says, we're here for human trafficking. I'm like, we've fucking done this already. And if you're here for human trafficking, why is it the girl who was in my bed, you didn't ask if she's okay? You fucking dragged her by her hair out of the bed and forced her onto the ground at gunpoint and asked about my Bugatti. What the fuck's that got to do with anything? We need to take your assets. But I thought we're here for human trafficking. And the girl you find in the house you beat the fuck out of and start asking me about my cars. They start to go through the entire house. This time they take the car keys. All our bank's accounts and all our crypto exchanges have already been deleted. Everything had been deleted back in the UK terror list. Assets. So they take all the cars. This is famous. Find the clips. All the cars on trucks. All the watches they took, which was about 600 grand. I had bought again because I had so much money. And they took them again. Now I remember when they were searching the house, I had a big safe. You know, Jack, I am part black. So sometimes we do silly things like show off. And I had a safe with bulletproof glass at the front. So you could see all my nice things. You could see all the watches, see the piles of cash, see the gold. You could see it all. And the police were like, open the safe. So I don't have to open the safe. They said, you don't have to, but you're going to jail. And we are going to get in. So if it takes us a year to get in, we'll just tell the judge not to let you out of jail because we haven't been in your safe yet. I was like, you fucking cunt. I asked my lawyer. I look at my lawyer's like, that's what they're going to do. So I had to open the safe, bro. What can you do? Open the safe. They got the fucking guns. They robbed me, take all my shit, take all my stuff. It's taking everything. They took the house itself, the deeds for the house, they took that. And during this seizure, I believe it was reported in the media, they took around 15 million American dollars of cars, houses, land, companies I had in Romania, all these things. They seized everything. And after this house search of looking for drugs, looking for steroids, all again, and the whole time I'm saying to the guys, what the fuck is going on? We've already done this, guys. She's a liar. We know she's a liar. We've already done this. We've been through the whole house. What's going on? They said the same thing as last time. You have to go to the decal office and talk to the prosecutor. I'm like, is it the same guy? They're like, you'll see. And at this point, you know, in my optimism, I must be stupid. I'm sitting there going, this must be a mistake. This is just Romania. You know, that prosecutor is probably retired and this file ended up on someone else's desk and they're just doing it all wrong. I'm going to go there and explain that she's a liar and that we were all laughing. We should have bought her handbags and ha ha ha. And last time I went to the decal office, I went home straight away. So surely this is just the same bullshit. So I walk out of my house. They throw me in the police car in front of the media. I remember when they said, it's time to go, we searched the house. I said, can you bring the police car inside the gate and I'll get in there? They're like, no. I was like, see, why? You want to perp walk me in front of the media? And the guy goes, yes. I said, okay, cool, perp walk me. I don't give a fuck, I'm a gangster. So you can see the clip videos. You see me walk out with my hood up.
What media outlets were there? Was it just Gondul?
No, it was Romanian, it was Associated Press, it was everybody. Global. The world was there to watch this happen. Human trafficker, BBC News, who said I was the worst person in the world. All those NGO accounts who had posted about me. See, I told you he's been arrested for human trafficking. The entire fucking internet blows up. They drag me. I go to see the decal prosecutor. I sit there. And this time it's the same guy with about 5 other guys and a couple girls, 10 of them, all standing behind the desk. And I'm sitting in front of them. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And they say, by Romanian code in the article, blah, 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 you're under arrest for organized criminal group, head of a mafia gang, witness intimidation, arms trafficking, human trafficking, rape, assault, like 21 things. I'm like, for fucking what? Well, how do you plead? I'm like, well, I'm not guilty, obviously. This is bullshit. And they're like, what do you have to say about the crime of human trafficking? I'm like, nothing. It's made up. What do you have to say about the crime of assault? I'm like, assault who, bro? What are you talking about? So I got an argument with the decal guys. My lawyer says to me, he goes, Andrew, there's no point arguing with them. We have to talk to the judge. There's nothing we can do. Forget about it. Just chill. Just chill. At the end of it, he goes, and we recommend detention. So I was like, so I don't get to go home? Like last time? They're like, no, you're going to jail. And that's the clip where they take me out of the decal office and the armed guards walk me into the police car where I say,
the Matrix has attacked me.
There's a clip of me walking and I say, the Matrix has attacked me. And I get taken to prison in between Christmas and New Year. I'm very excited to find out what the fuck I'm in jail for. Now, in retrospect, what's really interesting, and I want everyone to remember this later, after the initial April accusation by girl A, the case stayed open, like I called my lawyer and asked, but there wasn't a single entry in the case file. It was open on his desk without a single entry in the case file. And then warrants for surveillance started being added to the case file to spy on us the exact same day I was deleted. The same day that my phone was wiped. The same day the BBC said I was the worst person in the world. The same day that they said I had to be disappearing from social media. The same day they attacked me before my final message. The exact same day the Romanian prosecutor started requesting warrants from judges. So he got the call. The same day. So I'm in jail, and I'm handed the reason I'm in jail. And it's about this thick in Romania, which I don't fucking speak. And I said, yo, to the prison guard. By Romanian law, you have to tell me in my language. I don't speak Romanian. And the prison guard goes, it's Christmas. We don't have translator. And walked off. So I don't know why I'm in jail.
Do you have your phone?
No. I have no phone. I'm taken to jail. I'm given this pile of papers, and I'm thrown in a cell. Romanian jail is exactly how you expect it to be. If you want to see what the inside of a Romanian jail is like, you can just look up the Russian jails. It's still Soviet. It's very similar. There's no yard time. There's no library. There's no interaction with other prisoners, really. Imagine you go to a bathroom and the door closes and you don't leave. It's about the size of a bathroom. There's cockroaches all over. It's old. It's dirty. The infestation of bugs is fucking vile. Not that I'm squeamish. I'm not a girl. But it's just disgusting. And you're in a bathroom. There's a tiny window about the size of a plate. And there's an artificial light that doesn't turn off. That's Romanian jail. So I'm thrown in this cell. And I'm saying to my lawyer, what the fuck's going on, Alan? And he's like, I have to read the file. My lawyer's like, oh, let me read it. Let me read it. It's this big. And he's flicking through it and going, this is all garbage. What is this? It's garbage. They're saying that 2 girls, your girlfriends, you human trafficked them on TikTok. You made them do TikTok for money. But I can't find any transfers of money. It doesn't make any sense. I'm like, okay, so how the fuck do I get out of here? Ask the girls. And the girls, please play the videos, Betty and Yasmina, do videos in my defense.
I've never seen any of them being aggressive or rude.
Ai fost amenințată?
No.
The 2 girls are like, what the fuck? We just have TikTok like every other girl on the planet. He didn't make us do TikTok for money. What are you talking about? They made this up. And they were on my side. This is the thing that's so annoying about my story. Everyone goes, oh yeah, but the girls accused him. No one's ever accused me of anything besides the girl I said hi to twice in my life. Girl A. The girls that they threw me in jail for human trafficking on TikTok were on my side, defending me. And the next 3 months is the story everyone watched of me in jail, the entire media blowing up, insulting me. They took all my money, they thought. They took my ability to speak back, they thought. But of course, I'm smarter than the average bear, and I have money hidden, and I also have 28,000 fan accounts. So there's this media war of the mainstream media saying I'm a human trafficker, and all my fan pages and my Twitter constantly releasing information that I'm not a human trafficker, and the videos of all the girls defending me, the victims in the case. Those girls are now making videos defending me. And this was very frustrating for the authorities in Romania, because normally when you take someone's social media and you take his bank accounts, you throw him in jail, you win the media war. What can he say, right? But not with me. All of a sudden, the videos of the victims are on the internet saying, this is a fucking setup, this is corruption. And I've already told the story at length on other podcasts, Patrick, Bet David and such, and I encourage people to watch it, of my experience in jail. And I could talk for the next 2 days about all the micro stories that happened while I was in jail. But for continuity, I won't do that.
Before we move on, I do want to ask, were you Greta? Was there anything with Greta Thunberg in the pizza box, or was that just made up?
I think it was all just made up.
Okay.
They knew where I lived. They knew where I lived. I think it was just bad timing. I think that was literally the night before I was arrested. It may have been.
I don't know if you want to answer the suicide letters.
We're going to get into them.
Okay.
So I'm in jail and I told endless stories of jail. And the basic premise is that Tristan, in his beautiful, truly remarkable forever optimism, thinks it's funny. It's a Matrix attack. It's hilarious. And I've told the stories how he didn't care about jail, didn't give a shit. And I'm trying to get out. Every 30 days, when I first went there, I look at this hellhole, and I had two lawyers. I had Alan, who's a guy I've known for a very long time, who most people see, and I had an older lawyer. His name was Gliga, and he had been part of the system for a really long time. And I said to Alan, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And he said, well, don't worry, DCAUT will put you in jail for a day, but after a day, they have to convince a judge to let you go. So I do 1 day in jail, and then we go in front of the judge. And Alan stands up and goes, inside this entire file, which I've been up all night reading, they're accusing Andrew Tate, a man with money, of human trafficking 2 girls on TikTok. They can't prove any money was made on TikTok. They can't prove any transfers went to Andrew from TikTok. And the 2 girls says he didn't do it. So can Andrew go home now? He presents it all to the judge. And the judge is like, yeah, this doesn't really make sense. And she's kind of confused. She's asking lots of questions back in Iranian, like, what do you mean TikTok? Everyone has TikTok. He's like, yeah, exactly. This is stupid. So at the end of all this, she goes, I have to go make my decision. And at the end of it, I said to Alan, what happens if we go to jail? He goes, there's no way you're going to jail. I was like, why not? He goes, I've been doing this 10 years. I've never seen a case this stupid. There's no way you're going to jail. I was like, you sure? But what happens if we do? He goes, you're not going to jail. And you know what was weird? When he started saying that, I just knew I was going to jail. You know when someone's like so sure? I'm like, I just sit there and I was just like, we're going to go, aren't we? We're going to go. And the judge, who looked really understanding and was, listening to us about TikTok, etc., she goes out the back for an hour or so, gets the phone call, which we'll talk about later, comes back out and says, jail, detention, 30 days, and walks straight off. Guys jump on me, handcuffs straight me to the jail, throw me back in the fucking cell. And I can't believe it. And I'm saying to Alan, what the fuck is going on? Now he's like, I don't know. I've never seen corruption like this. Your case doesn't make any sense. I don't know where this is coming from. I have to find out where this is coming from. This is corruption. I'm like, I know this is corruption. What the fuck is happening? So my first week in jail, and I've already told a lot of stories, but I just want to tell some important points for the story. My first week in jail, I come to the conclusion that the Romanian system is a fucking setup, and that these clowns, these prosecutors and fucking idiots who know I'm innocent, have set me up to shake me down and steal my money. So I need to get out without using Romanian means. So what do? Well, I do 3 things. The first thing I do is I call the British embassy. I'm British. Second thing I do is I call the American embassy. I'm American. And the third thing I do is I request for my international legal teams to fly in to see me. And things happen in that order. The British embassy sends somebody to come and see me in Romanian jail. And I get taken from my cell and get taken to the room. And the lady from the British embassy's there. And she's like, hello. I'm like, hi. So yeah, I've been set up in Romania. She goes, yeah, a lot of people get arrested around the world. So I just want you to know that consular support is pretty limited. And I have a leaflet for you. It's gov.uk leaflet about what happens when you're arrested abroad, and any information you need is there. I was like, okay, yeah, but this is a corrupt setup. So who do I speak to? She's like, I just have to give you the leaflet. Nice to meet you. I walked off. That was the British consular support. Took me back to my cell with this fucking leaflet. Gov.uk. If you're arrested abroad, what to do? Like this fucking garbage. So it's like, fuck the English. They're useless anyway. No one gives a fuck what England says. Let me wait for the Americans. I'm an American citizen. And I'm there and I'm talking to the prison guards. And the prison guards know I'm innocent. They're like, what are you doing here? Because everyone knows me in Romania. I'm famous. I'm like, bro, you fucking tell me. And they're like, you've upset someone. I'm like, who? They're like, I don't know, but there's no reason for you to be here. This is bullshit. It's Romania. It's bullshit. You upset someone. I'm like, who did I upset? Is it the guy whose land I didn't buy? Like, what's going on? Going through my head. Anyway, they said, an American has never been arrested in Romania before. I was like, really? He goes, yes, actually, we had an American guy here before. He stabbed 2 people. And he went home in 3 days, back to America. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, Romania's not going to arrest Americans. I was like, so I'm going to go home? They're like, for sure. I said, well, he stabbed 2 people and he got out. I supposedly fucking stole TikTok money, so I'm sure I'm going to get out. So I'm really excited for the American embassy to turn up. American embassy turns up. I walk in there. I'm like, guys, thank fuck. Real humans. No more Romanians. You're an American. I'm an American. You're a fucking American. This is bullshit. U.S. Constitution. This is fucking garbage. And they're like, yeah, the American government considers Romania to be a real legal system and that we respect the sanctity of the legal system and we believe that you have to go through the legal system. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? This is a setup and a corrupt dump. We all know it's corrupt. On the corruption index, we're at the same level as Zambia. That's not a lie. Look it up. Romania is considered a hybrid state. There's 4 states of a democracy. You have democracy at the top. You have flawed democracy. Then you have hybrid state. Then you have authoritarianism. Hybrid state is the same as Zambia. The Romanian system is considered at Zambian level. And the American government is now telling me that we respect the Romanian judicial system and believe that you have to go through the process. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? How long am I going to be here? He goes, Andrew, I like you. And, I'm just here to do my job and I've been around, but I think you need to prepare for quite a long stay. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean a long stay? I haven't fucking done anything. He goes, yeah, there's nothing really the American government's prepared to do for you. I'm like, what do you mean prepared? What can you do? He goes, well, what we can do and what we're prepared to do, they're different things. And we're not prepared to do much for you right now. So here's a leaflet. So I take the American leaflet about being arrested abroad and the American government leaves me. And I go back to jail. And then I spend my first month in jail. And at the end of the first month, we go to a judge and we ask to leave. And she says, no, you go back to jail. On repeat, I keep going back to jail. No matter what we would say to these judges, keep going back to jail. Now, the third part of this story is, the third thing I said I was going to do is invite my international legal team. I have King's Counsel lawyers from London, the best of the fucking best, old school, real G's. I was like, maybe you know what? The embassy sold me out. Maybe the British lawyers. My British lawyers are due to come see me. 7 p.m. on a Tuesday, I'm sitting in jail. I really, for everyone watching this at home, if you want to experience this, put your phone away, give your phone to someone else, and go sit in the bathroom for an hour. I did 4 months. Try an hour. Just sit there. Sitting there, staring at the fucking clock like fucking sit there. 7 p.m. comes, they don't turn up. My lawyers don't turn up. Why the fuck my lawyers don't turn up? I got on the phone. What the fuck's going on? Eventually I hear, when my British lawyers landed in Bucharest, someone from the British embassy was waiting for them and said, these boys are done. Don't waste your time. You're not going to go see these boys. This is a national security issue. Go home. Why the fuck is the British government sending people from the British embassy in Romania to wait for my British lawyers and telling them that I'm a national security threat and I can't see my fucking lawyer? What the fuck is that? They told my lawyers to fuck off out of Romania and that we're a national security issue and that we're toast. We're wrapped up. We're done. Don't waste your fucking time. That's why my lawyers didn't come see me, because the British government blocked it. After 4 months, when I'd really lost all hope, we went in front of a judge. And the judge asked some questions to our lawyer, and our lawyer explained how it's bullshit as usual. And this judge is one of the best in Romania, because a member of her family, I believe, I don't know exactly, and I don't want to talk about anyone else's personal business. There was actually 3 judges on the panel. One of these judges, I can't remember who, had a member of their family who did 8 years for a political case. He was innocent and did a political case. I think it was her cousin or something. So she became a judge to restore integrity to the Romanian system. And they've tried to promote her to the European Court many times, and she won't go because it's a promotion to get rid of her. Anyway, she asked some questions, whatever. This is at 10 a.m. And we went back to jail. And normally when you're in jail, you go to court, you go back to jail, and you wait for the decision over the phone. They don't tell you in court. And within 40 minutes, your lawyer calls you in your jail and says, you're staying in jail. 10 a.m., 11 a.m., no answer. Midday, no answer. 1 p.m., no answer. 2 p.m., no answer. 3 p.m., no answer. I start calling my lawyer. What are they saying? Don't know. They're not telling us. Well, that's weird. He goes, yeah, maybe she has other work. 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m., they announce on the news I'm going home. I call my lawyer. Is it fucking true? Is it true? The whole jail started screaming. Frati means brother. Frati Tate, Frati Tate. The whole jail screaming for me and Tristan. Frati Tate, you go home. Frati Tate, you're the best, you're the best. We were just like, fuck it, I couldn't fucking believe it. We had a little party in our cell. We drank our last water. We used our last mouthwash. We had a little fucking party of all the things we had rationed for the month. I couldn't fucking believe it. I'm sitting there, I'm like, It's over. Like fucking 4 months. This fucking liar, these fucking prosecutors who know I'm innocent, all my stolen stuff, it's fucking finally fucking over. I'm in my cell and I'm just like, I can't even say it was the happiest day of my life. It was kind of like, imagine you get hit by a car. You know in those movies when people get hit by a car and then they pop up and they're a ghost? You know? That's what it felt like. It's like, poof, like what the fuck? So I get to leave this fucking room? I've been in this fucking room for 4 months? I get to leave this room and go home? Is my house still there? Like, it's like, what the fuck? And they said we're going to leave. And my lawyer now believes that she made the announcement late at night on purpose to avoid the government from stopping it or blocking it. Everyone had gone home from their civil service offices. The president had gone home. So she delayed it to actually let us out. Because if she would have announced at 10 a.m., the president would have gone on the phone to the Brits and they would have fucking stopped it somehow. Thank fucking God, I haven't done anything. So God bless that judge, whoever it was. One of
So
the
they
three.
cycle the judges every month and you happen to get that one that month?
It's a lottery.
Right. Okay.
It's a judge lottery. And often you have 3 or 4 judges on a panel. It was 3 judges this time. I don't know which one it was. And this is the video that everyone saw of me walking out the jail with a long beard. And I walk out and I look up to the sky. You know, when I was in jail, after the US government sold me out and left me there, and I told the guards, I just saw the American embassy. They didn't give a shit. They're like, that can't be true. I was like, they didn't give a shit. He goes, we've arrested and had about 20 or 30 Americans in jail overnight. No one stays here. The guy who stabbed people did 3 days at most to go home. We've never seen this. I was like, so why does it happen to me? And they looked sad. They looked somber. They were like, I don't know who you've upset, but this is bad. I'm like, why is it bad? He goes, this is Romania, bro. People have been in jail for 5 or 6, 7, 8 years, no trial. I'm like, you fucking serious? He goes, yeah, by Romanian law, they can hold you for up to 50% of the total maximum sentence of a crime that you're suspected of. And because I had 21 crimes and they all had such long sentences, they could have held me for 50 years without trial. And without trial. Because I had a 100-year maximum sentence if I'm convicted. And I was like, all the guards had convinced me that my life was over. I had come to the point, Jack, where I'd look around the little room and just imagine growing old in the room. Like what? And I mean, before my school, I had 20 or 30 $million, but now I had hundreds of millions. And before my school, I wasn't really that famous, and now I got famous. So please imagine, I went from nice, comfortable life, fringe internet celebrity, to globally famous and properly rich for like 5 months at most. And now I'm in this room forever. That's the end of the story. I just fucking got started. I just enjoyed my life for the first time. And I used to literally look around that room, imagine growing old in that room, just thinking, what the fuck can I do? And I'd ask the guards so many questions, and they're like, bro, I wish I could help you, but you've already asked me this. They can hold you for 50% of the maximum sentence. Your paperwork says a maximum of 111 years. They can keep you here for 50 years. I don't know why the American government has helped you. You have to call the embassy again. No American stays in Romanian jail. No American. Every American gets out. You have to call them again. And I'm calling the embassy 3 times a day, and they're just ignoring my calls now at this point. They're like, fuck you. They just wouldn't answer me. I thought it was done. So when I got out, when I look up to the sky, like you can see on that video, I didn't think I'd ever see the sky again. I don't have yard time. I don't have exercise time. I was in a bathroom. I didn't see the sky for 4 months. And I looked up at the sky and I just thanked God. I really thought I'd never see the sky again. And then I drove home. And when I got home, my emotion changed. Because when I got back home, I remembered that none of this should have fucking happened to me. And that's when I got mad. When I got home, I got really angry. And that's when I made that video, the famous video of me walking up and down, smoking the cigar, because I had learned this habit in jail of pacing. And it took me 7 months to break. For the next 7 months, I was pacing all the time. My girlfriends would be like, Andrew, sit down. But I just paced like a fucking caged dog back and forth. For 4 months, I just paced up and down. So I'm in my living room, I'm just pacing up and down. I'm starting to all go through my head. Wait a fucking second. I'm glad to be out. Yes, I get to see the sky. Whoa. I should have never fucking been there. I started a school teaching fucking econ. I haven't done anything. This bitch fucking lied. Where's my fucking stuff? I haven't been to the UK. I'm not a terrorist. I haven't fucking blown anything up. Those prosecutors know they're fucking lying. Why is my school fucked? Because when I was in jail, not only did they hit me, they hit the fucking school. Because all of my problems, Jack, all of this is about the fucking school. I had my domain name deleted. Yeah, they deleted my Stripe. Yes, they banned us on Discord. Fine. I'm an entrepreneurial man. I got the best people on the planet. I go to the war room. We build our own payment processor. We buy our own bank in Lithuania. We build our own software. Fuck Discord, custom school. We build everything ourselves. We launch it all on our domain, hustlersuniversity.ai. The British government writes to the Antigans who own the .ai domain name and say it's a website for terrorism. They delete our fucking domain. Name someone else on the planet who has their domain wiped. You type the domain in, seized, terror. The fuck? Had to get a new domain name, relaunched the whole fucking school. I just got out of jail, I got PTSD, I'm still fucking laying in bed looking for cockroaches all the fucking time. And my whole fucking school's fucked. But they've taken all my fucking money. Yeah, I have money hidden, but I need to fucking fight legal bills, legal fees, kids need to eat. So I need to get to school, I want money. What else am I gonna do? I'm locked in my fucking house. And also, I'm like, fuck these people. Because the school's how I defend myself, because that's the 28,000 Clippers. Let's get the fucking school back online. So I go to house arrest, I get fucking mad, and I'm like, okay, a few things have to happen. Firstly, I'm not a vengeful man, but I do believe in justice. So you know what the first thing I'm gonna do is? I'm gonna sue Girl A. We're gonna come back to that later. Hopefully that'll be televised because it's coming shortly. Unless they fucking kill me first, which is why I'm getting the messages I'm getting now, which is why we're doing this video. Because Girl A is being sued. So we have the lawsuit against Girl A in Florida, where she's from. No Romanian courts, an American court. It's not perfect, but it's the best chance we got. So we got the lawsuit against Girl A in Florida. First thing I do is I fucking sue her. She lied. She knows she lied. The Romanian state is corrupt. They stole my fucking stuff. They destroyed my fucking business. They destroyed my mental health. They put me in a fucking cell. They've ruined my reputation. They kept me from my fucking kids. Sue her. Why not? It's the first thing we do. Second thing we do is start trying to get the school back online. And you know what? In my ignorance, even still at this point, I believe it's almost the end of the story. I'm walking up and down pacing, and they're like, you're on house arrest. I'm like, They're just trying to get the public ready for my release. Soften it little by little, not just to let me 100% free. They're afraid I'm going to fly away out of Romania or something. Couple months of house arrest, right? No big deal. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So I'm locked in my house month on month, on month, on month. And this is when my brother and I are doing the emergency meeting podcast. Our first emergency meeting we did after jail had 500,000 live viewers. 500,000 live. And after I did that podcast, my first emergency meeting, there were 500,000 live viewers, and we talked about what they did to us in jail. We said the Romanian state are full of shit and they're corrupt, and it's a fucking lie. My lawyer rushed to my house in the middle of the night. Comes to my house. He goes, Andrew. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? He goes, Andrew, listen to me. You have to listen to me. I'm like, what? He goes, nobody in history has ever spoken against the Romanian state and survived. You cannot call judges corrupt. You cannot call the system corrupt. You have to say, I respect the system. I look forward to a good decision in the end. I'll participate with the system. We have to let everyone forget about this. And when everyone forgets, they're going to drop their corrupt case. It's going to go away. If you embarrass the Romanian state, they're going to fucking bury you. The last guy who tried this in 1997 got 35 years in Rahova, the worst jail in Europe. You're never going to survive it. And I said to Alan, I was like, but I look fucking guilty. They fucking slandered me everywhere. I look fucking guilty. If I shut up, I look guilty. I can't just be quiet. He goes, you're going to make my job impossible, Andrew, if you talk. You have to stop doing these emergency meetings. You have to be quiet. Me, him, and Tristan sat there and I said, Alan, if I shut up and they lock me up, I'm going to torture myself back in that room thinking I had a chance to tell the truth about how corrupt this is. But if I tell the truth how corrupt it is and they lock me up, I'll know I went down swinging. Look, I just lost a fight. I'm not saying I always win, but I don't quit. And I said, Alan, your job's going to be hard. Because fuck them. They fucking ruined my life. I can't sleep. That's fine. Let's put in the videos of all the tweets I was making. I had fucking nightmares. I couldn't lay in a bed without looking for fucking cockroaches. I couldn't have a blanket on me. I was fucked. If therapy was a real thing, I would have needed it. I was a fucking mess. And I was like, no, it's fucking war. It's fucking war. We're doing it. So we started doing our emergency podcasts, emergency meeting. Romania's corrupt. This is a setup. Here's the victim saying that we haven't done anything wrong. The fucking prosecutor's a piece of shit. He's a scumbag. Fuck this dump. Fuck the cops. Fuck you. And just tell them the truth. Unfazed. Last bullet.
They looked at us and thought they have too much power, too much influence. Let's hit them with the most powerful weapon we have. Let's cancel them. Let's close all their accounts. Let's make them vanish. Let's destroy their influence. That's the biggest bullet they have. Imagine shooting a man with your last bullet and he stands there unfazed.
Fuck you. Going down swinging.
I want to point out, too, that I'm sure you thought about while you were in jail, maybe we should stop this whole affiliate campaign. Maybe the whole thing is they want me to go away, stop posting on social media.
Of course.
But you kept it running.
I thought that before jail. When I did my final message, I decided to give up. Enough is enough. But then Tristan was like, no, fuck that. And you know one thing about Tristan and I? We ride into battle together. If Tristan and I are in a nightclub and he says, this guy's annoying me, I'm going to hit him. I say, don't hit him. And then he hits him. Then I'm hitting him. That's how it goes. Tristan said, let's war. So I wanted to quit back when I made my final message. It was called The Final Message. That was the end. I had enough money. That was the end of it all. But after they put me through jail and all these things, and because my reputation was in the fucking gutter when I got out of jail, I was like, no, my best way to fight back is to tell the truth on emergency meeting podcasts and use my affiliate army to spread the truth. I'm not lying to anybody. Tell everyone what fucking happened. UK State was behind all this fucking shit anyway. Which is interesting because when I'm on house arrest, the BBC start calling me. They call Alan first. Alan goes, the BBC want an interview. I'm like, nah, not doing it. He goes, no, they really want an interview. Maybe you should talk to her. It's like, who is it? Lucy. Hello? Hi, my name's Lucy Williams. I'm like, hi, Lucy, nice to meet you. Hi, so we want to do an interview. I'm like, I don't think interviews are the right thing for me to do this time. Oh, no, actually, I think you'd be interested in this one. I said, why? The Romanian state is really well known to be corrupt, and there's a lot of conversations about the corruption in the Romanian state, and we've looked up Cedo. We've looked up Cedo, and it turns out that the Romanian government pays hundreds of millions of dollars a year in fines to the European Union for how unsafe and unfair their jails are, because you're actually held in worse conditions than farm animals are held. They can't hold a pig in the place they held you by law, a pig that gets slaughtered. And what happens to people in Romanian jails is disgusting, so we want to talk about the corruption of the Romanian state and how bad the jails are. I'm like, you do? She goes, of course. You haven't been convicted, have you? I'm like, no, I haven't. She goes, exactly. And it should be innocent until proven guilty. I'm like, you're right, Lucy. You should be that. She goes, well, so I'm hoping we can fly over. I'm like, come over. Sure. Yeah, great. So Tristan, the BBC are going to run a point about how corrupt these fucking dickhead Romanians are, how we're held worse than farm animals, and how it's all a fucking setup. Tristan's like, that's good. I'm like, yeah, it is fucking good. Finally, we can fix the fucking narrative. Hi, Lucy. Nice to meet you. Oh, nice to meet you. Hi. Everyone sits down today. So are you a No.
Let's start with the allegations. Have you anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women?
Absolutely not. This girl said you're a rapist. And instantly I was like, they set me up. They set me up. They told me it was going to be an interview about something completely else. And they know I have mental issues. And they know I'm not sleeping. And they know I'm locked in my fucking house. And they fucking hijinxed me. And they've set me up to just make me fuck up on camera and make me look guilty. But you know, in my genius, I filmed the whole thing myself, just in case. Just in case. And that's when I said to her, I said, Lucy, put this clip in. Lucy, don't come here like you have authority over me. Don't ask the questions to hear the Gestapo. You don't have a badge. You're in my home. And we're two people here.
Please him and wanting him to be happy, that I was just kind of, yeah, okay, do whatever you want.
And what has she accused me of a crime, this imaginary Sophie?
She's making the point that there is
Has she accused me of a crime?
emotional or psychological manipulation.
I asked you a question and I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you a question.
Correct, but you're not the boss here. because I've allowed you into my house
I'm asking you the question.
correctly, and I'm telling you,
You get to decide the answer.
no, we're equal here. I've allowed you into my house. You don't come here with a position of authority. I'm doing you the favor as legacy media, giving you relevance by speaking to you.
You're a person, I'm a person. You're not better than me. You're not above me. You can't talk to me from a position of authority. If you ask me questions, I'll ask you whatever I want in my house. And I watched her piss her little pants. So I made a fool of Lucy. Now, I was only at a fraction of my powers. I have to be honest, they fucking got me, bro. My head was all over the place. I was at a fraction of my powers because even when I'm on house arrest, my lawyers are constantly calling me saying they can recall you to jail anytime. Stop doing the emergency meetings. They can recall you to jail. Stop having your girlfriend over. Stop seeing your kid. If they know you're seeing your kid, that just all this trying to ruin my, I'm like, fucking just put me back in jail then. But being told you might go back is like worse than going back. Like you're just sitting there every time a car drives down the road, you're like, is that the cops? Like you're fucked, right? And this fucking Lucy turns up with this hijinks, this fucking trick, but it doesn't work. And I released a whole uncut video. She looks like a fool. Even at a fraction of my powers, I destroyed her, which really pissed off the British government. They got really mad because after the Lucy BBC interaction, while I'm locked in my house, I start getting letters trying to convince me to kill myself. It started off as DMs on Twitter from fake accounts, and then it would grow into emails. And then I started getting handwritten letters written by psychologists. And I don't know they were psychologists, but I assume they had to have been because I've never read something so enthralling. I was never going to kill myself, but it was enthralling to read. It was interesting to read. And it was trying to convince me that my life was effectively over and that if I martyr myself, I get to go out as a hero because of what the state has done to me, as opposed to being ground down by the state in a war I can't win to the point where I wish I did it. And that by the time I eventually kill myself, no one's going to care. So do it while people care. And they mentioned my kids, who no one knows the names of. They mentioned the names of the mothers of my kids. And these fake accounts on Twitter who pose to be haters, who know everything about the case, everything about my children, everything about the mothers of my children. They are fully fed the case file. They have the case file. They have all this information that are coming from these letters, trying to convince me to kill myself. I get a letter every day saying, Andrew, you're going to kill yourself effectively. You're going to do it in the end anyway. Don't do it when no one cares. Go out like a hero. You've always been a hero. You can stay a hero for eternity. Just kill yourself. And then my girlfriends start getting messages. My girlfriends and the mothers of my kids get messages. Leave Andrew. He's only going to drag your life down. You can use the government to get money from him. Go and report him for abuse. Accuse him of abuse. Sue him for money. You can get money from him. Why are you with this scumbag? Why are you staying beside him? His life is over. He's never going to be able to give you a good life. The only chance of a good life is to take his money and go find another man. My main chicks are getting these messages. The mothers of my kids are getting these messages, convincing them. And I know my women love me, but women are susceptible to pressure and psyops. They cry, and they come to me crying. Do you think you will get out of this? I'm like, don't fucking start breaking now. That's what they want. They want you to give up hope so that you leave. Because they realize they couldn't get to me, so they start going for all the women around me. TikTok accounts of my girlfriend and making fun of her. She's a whore. She's a whore. One day she'll leave Andrew. Everywhere. And no matter how many times they get deleted, new ones pop up. New ones pop up. That was all funded by an NGO. And we're going to come back to this NGO. There's an NGO linked to Girl A, which we're going to come back to later. Ninja.
What was the word in the letter that you interested or repeated?
It was different on different podcasts, but I'm going to find one and find you an exact example of it so you can place it here, because every time they'd send me a suicide letter, next time I did an emergency meeting, I would specifically say a word from the letter, an unusual word, so they knew I read it and they knew I was talking to them saying no. I'd say it directly before or after I told them how I was unfucking phased.
Because I tell you something, when your progeny, when your grandchildren come up to you and say, why are we brokies, Dad? If you're looking for a group of men who are on the journey to become the kind of men we talk about, and also men who are already at the pinnacle, the highest echelons of masculine accountability and capability, that's what the war room is. All of these systems which are designed to create,
good citizens of a respectable society and preserve sanctimonium amongst the populace, actually corrupted and gay.
But I'm not going to lie, they got to the women around me. Women around me were more suicidal than I was because they're just under so much pressure. Even like, imagine you got my daughter, you're the mother of my kid, and you're living a normal life. You don't have social media. You're a good woman. You don't go clubs. You don't go parties. You don't have social media. You don't show off. You're a nice, normal woman. And you're getting letters with pictures of with the name of your child and saying your child's life's over and all this shit. Like, what the fuck? This is the British government, by the way, the good guys. This is the good guys doing this, trying to convince women to kill. They didn't tell the women to kill themselves. Trying to convince the women to leave me and take my money because I'm going to kill myself. This is the good guys, the good UK state. The people who didn't give a fuck about the grooming gangs, these fucking scumbags. So it was all from the government. We're going to get there in the end. That all started after I destroyed the BBC because I beat them in their narrative war. And the entire world is just a battle for influence. That's all it is. And I had more influence than the BBC. You can't be one man with 28,000 fan pages with more influence than the BBC, causing young men to stick up for themselves in a state which is trying to extract resource from the young men and ruin their lives. The average man's life in England sucks. It's shit. They pay taxes. They're losing their country. They can't fucking do anything, go anywhere. They just build the roads, and then they're told they have to go die in addition Ukraine. It's over. Me telling them to stand up for themselves was considered an act of resistance against the enslavement. So the UK government's like, oh, just convince them to kill themselves. And in my darkest hours, I'd lay in bed. I'd fuck my girlfriend and then she'd fall asleep and I'd just lay there and I'd be tossing and turning and I'd be fucking staring at the wall and night sweats and I'd just be a fucking mess. I'd get up and start pacing around my bedroom like a fucking psycho, just pacing up and down my bedroom, and I'd end up picking up one of the notes and reading the letter, just pacing up and down. And it's my stubbornness who was like, whoever wrote this is going to have to explain to their boss why I didn't do it. So, they never got close to convincing me because I'm so stubborn, Jack. No matter how suicidal I would have ever felt, I knew my life annoyed them. And that's when I'd read it, and then I'd be up all night, 48 hours, no sleep. And then I'd go into the garden, and there's a video of me on a Bugatti scooter with Tristan in the garden doing circles. Please play the video. It was after that night. I was like, they're checking my social media to see, because I got a new letter today that I haven't posted in 12 hours. And I just had the Romanian news is saying they might have to re-imprison me. And all this pressure's on me, all this heat's on me, and the BBC saying, and the BBC saying bad things, and I'm feeling the heat. They're going to wait and see what the next thing I post is. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm on a scooter with Tristan. Fuck you. Because I'm stubborn. Now we're making this video. I'll be honest, it was getting to me. But I don't believe in mercy. I don't believe my enemies are ever going to have mercy, so I don't ask for it. My dad didn't raise me that way. I wasn't raised to believe that if you're weak enough, people will feel sorry for you. I don't believe that's how the life works. I don't think if you go in front of your enemies and go, I'm a little bitch, please, that they're going to do anything other than destroy you. They're going to destroy you anyway.
That's when they double down, usually.
Of course. I'm going to fucking do it.
Why did you read the letters so many times?
Because they were so well written. They were so well written, Jack. It was a beautiful use of the English language. It was beautifully written. It was convincing. It had all the trigger points. My masculinity, my ego, how I'll be a hero, how we all die in the end, how my life's already over, how it's better for the people I care about, how it's going to be good for my image. Like, it had all the psychologists did a great job. They profiled me. They watched my stuff. They wrote it all down. All the group of fucking psychologists in MI6, GCHQ, they did a fucking great fucking job. It was flawless writing.
Do you have a line?
I have a letter. And I'll make sure you get one. Leave it to me. Because they're in a secure location in case something happens. But I'll make sure you get a letter. And you can read the whole thing. So then I'm in my house, 6 months of house arrest by now. And let's analyze the battlefield before we move on to the next stage. I've been to jail. They failed to keep me in prison because of one honest judge. I'm now on house arrest. I'm telling the truth. Nobody believes them anymore. The victims are on my side. I have more influence than them. I've destroyed the BBC. They're trying to starve me out. But they keep asking me. And the prosecutor keeps asking me. Drags me into DCAT office, which I'd have to go to once every couple of weeks and say, you're on house arrest. By Romanian law, on house arrest, you have to explain how you're feeding yourself. Where's your money from? It's like, oh, Alan lends it to me. I'm in debt. No, well, I'll put you back in jail. Put her back in jail then. Do it. Pussy bitch, put me in jail. Give a fuck. Alan lends me money. Alan's like, yep, I lend him money. Where's your money? Where's your money? Where's your money? Because remember, human trafficking, but they beat the girls in my house up and ask about the Bugatti. Yeah, human trafficking, right? Fucking stealing. So I wouldn't tell them where my money was. So they're trying to starve me out. And if you actually watch, I don't know if you remember, back then, eventually, house arrest ends. They said house arrest is over. And I put a video up saying, my first free day from house arrest. But I've decided to stay in tonight. Didn't even leave the house on my first day free. Had a nice dinner with my friends. And the next day, my brother and I got a brand new Porsche GT4 RS and a McLaren 765 LT in purple delivered to our house. Why? Rich and shit. They got fucking mad. So we had those cars delivered on our first day and start driving around Bucharest. Alan calls me, DCAT wants to see you. Like, surprise, surprise. We go to the DCAT office. Where are these cars from? I rented them. They're not rented, so they're not mine. Run the number plates. Some genius, some fucking genius started a rental company in Portugal and bought a bunch of assets under this Portuguese company. And he was so nice, he'd rent them to me for €1 a week. What a nice guy. Never met him. Don't know his name. So they're like, well, we need to talk to the rental company. I'm like, go Portugal. Fucking, I'm just renting the car. Here's my rental contract. €1 a week. They get fucking angry because they know we still have money. And that's all they want, the money. While this is going on, there's DDoS attacks on the school every day. School under attack. But I'm now almost, Jack, I first got arrested in April. Then I had those 3 months. And then I went to jail in December. It's now July of the year after. I got out of jail in March. It's now July, August. It's been nearly a year since my deletion. And I'm still as big as ever. And after the year, I'm like, this must be coming to an end. One night, I'm in my house, and police turn up. But not armed like the last time, not full SWAT, just a normal police car. We have to talk to you. My security by now has been improved. I have like 10 dudes with guns. One of them comes in and goes, police are outside. They say they want to talk to you. Do you want to go? Or are we going to fucking have a shootout and make a big issue? I'm like, look, I'm a peaceful man. See what he wants to say. I go out there and he goes, Andrew? I was like, yeah. He goes, I want you to know I'm a fan and I respect you a lot. So I thank you very much. He goes, but I need to take you to the station. I said, why? He says, there is an extradition warrant for your arrest out of the United Kingdom. So what happens now? He goes, well, we have to go and talk about the warrant. Then we have to see if a judge is going to extradite you or not. And I was like, okay, so I go to jail? He goes, only for 1 day. I was like, why 1 day? He goes, because either they don't extradite you and you go home, or they do extradite you and you go to England. And you know what? I actually kind of felt relief. I was like, oh, so I might go England and all this Romania crap's over? Because all this case and this bullshit is still ongoing. It's still in the court. I still have these court dates I'm going to, which you've seen. I used to walk in and out of court and fucking the DNG was there and all this bullshit. I'm still dealing with all this Romanian crap. I'm like, oh, I get to go England and just fuck Romania off. I was like, you know what? That doesn't even bother me. I'm like, bro, cool, let's go to the station. So we go to the station. They take me there. He lied to me. He goes, yeah, you might go to jail again. I'm like, whoa, that's not what you said. He goes, oh, well, the warrant says that they want to extradite you, or at least jail you until you're extradited. I was like, okay, so now it's serious. What the fuck is this about? And they said, you have a warrant for assault in 2011. I said, assault who? It doesn't say. I said, where? It doesn't say. I said, what date? When in 2011? Doesn't say. So what does it say? He goes, assault 2011. I was like, that's it? He goes, yeah, that's it. So I was like, well, then how the fuck do I defend myself? It says assault 2011. What? Assault 2011. Where? When? Who? What circumstance? Male, female? I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. He goes, that's the warrant. So you have to see a judge to decide on extradition. You have to go to jail, and we're going to put you in front of a judge tomorrow morning. I go to jail, straight back. You know, it's amazing. You know one of the most amazing things about PTSD? It's how quick you can get it back and how hard it is to get rid of. You know, it stinks. When I went back in that cell, it was just like, I'm fucking back. I thought, I'm back here. And in my paranoia, I was like, I'm never going to get out. It's going to be like last time, where they say I'm going to leave after a day, and then I'm stuck here for months. And I'm sitting and I'm starting to fucking, I don't panic. I don't believe in panic. But I'm starting to feel it. I'm like, I'm going to be fucking stuck here. I'm going to be stuck here again. And then at 7 a.m. in the morning, the guard comes, come on, court. And I was like, oh, well, at least they didn't just leave me here. So I was kind of relieved. And I go in front of the judge, and the judge is like, yeah, there's an extradition warrant for assault in the United Kingdom in 2011. And whatever you say in court will be provided to the prosecutor. How do you plead? I was like, well, obviously I plead not guilty, but I don't know what the fuck this is because you're not giving me any details. I don't know what we're talking about. Can you give me some details? And the judge's like, blah, 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 in Romanian, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty empty. This is weird. I don't know. No one knows. Anyway, she goes, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to England? And I said, to be honest with you, part of me misses home. But I would like to fix this mess in Romania first because my reputation's been damaged. So I'd like to fix this mess. She goes, oh, you want to stay in our system? I said, I'm an innocent man. I'd like to fix the mess here. Then I'll deal with England. She said, okay. When your cases in Romania conclude, we'll extradite you to England. Until then, you're going to stay in Romania. And the warrant here wants you to be in jail until that day. But I like your attitude. I'm going to put you back on house arrest. So after 6 months of house arrest, I enjoyed those cars I bought for about a week. For now, I'm back locked in my house. But at least I'm not in jail. And the Brits are trying to extradite me. Now, the Brits are trying to extradite me because all of this began, and we're going to see at the end, from the UK. The UK Foreign Office, when they deleted me from everything and wiped my phone, wrote to the Romanians and said I was an unchecked source of influence, which started the prosecutor entering requests for warrants on the exact same day to get me arrested. I get arrested, I go to jail. They're slandering me on the BBC, but because of my affiliates, I have a larger voice than them. I get out of jail and start doing podcasts and telling the truth. Their narrative is falling apart. They send Lucy Williams with a setup. Lucy Williams gets wrecked. Now their entire narrative has collapsed. Everyone's on my side. I'm a hero. The UK panics and says, extradite, get him, get him, get him, and send an extradition warrant, which has failed. But I'm back in my house.
Because Romania doesn't work anymore for them because there's a chance.
Romania have always just been the attack dog. They're not the handler. Romania is it's just where I was, and they're corrupt.
Do you think they were surprised that you got out in Romania?
100%. They couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. And to be honest with you, between you and I, Jack, of the 280 judges, if I didn't get that one judge, I wouldn't have got out. I might still be there now. The only judge in the system who everyone knows is fair. I could still be in that room. Wonder what I'd look like now. Wild, huh? So that's where we are. So the UK tries to extradite me. They need to get me off the internet. They need to stop the emergency meeting podcasts, and they need to stop the school. Because by now, please place inside of the video, the UK government are running stories about how Andrew Tate is banned from schools. Andrew Tate is misogynistic and young men don't listen to the female teachers in schools anymore. We're launching a program to stop Andrew Tate's influence in schools. The British government's panicking. And they're spending billions trying to deprogram men from my programming of go to the gym. Scary. While they let grooming gangs rape, while they let criminals steal, while they let murderers stab, while they let immigrants arrive, they're spending billions trying to stop me from telling young men to go to the gym. Members of Parliament, please play the clips. Please play the clips. Members of Parliament are standing up in Parliament twice a week saying, the biggest threat to the United Kingdom is Andrew Tate.
The effects of online influencer Andrew Tate's vile misogyny infiltrates our classrooms and society. Teachers are now having to develop their own resources to re-educate boys who are being brainwashed online by his deeply toxic messaging.
The Prime Minister, the Prime Minister, the primary threat to the UK is Andrew Tate.
Many young boys are exposed to Andrew Tate and many other things of the same type, which is, on the one hand, a sort of an attraction, but on the other hand, loaded with misogyny.
The Prime Minister. All the problems of that country, everyone's talking about me. Now, the interesting question you have to ask yourself at home, what is my chance of a fair trial in the UK when the Prime Minister is saying I'm the biggest problem for the country? Zero. They've just thrown away jury trials. So what's my chance of ever fucking beating the UK in anything? Fucking zero. That's why they tried to extradite me. But that judge puts me back on house arrest. The reason they requested jail until extradition is so that I couldn't speak on the internet. But I'm back on house arrest. So what do? Tristan, emergency meeting. We sit down and we start telling the truth about Keir Starmer f***ing Ukrainian rent boys, which he got caught doing, giving all their money away to Ukraine. UK's a fucking shithole. Corrupt. Romania's corrupt. UK's corrupt. Fuck you people. We start fucking gunning for them. Because what else are we going to do? Go down swinging. We start gunning for the UK government. We're on house arrest. A month house arrest. Second month house arrest. Third month house arrest. Just locked in our fucking house. On Twitter all day. On podcasts all day. Fixing the narrative. These counter accounts. These hater accounts who have the criminal file and doing all these podcasts and doing all this bullshit in their fucking Twitter spaces and constantly messaging out things, trying to fight their narrative. The UK government via NGOs is fighting their narrative. Us via our students and our soldiers in the school are fighting our narrative. Us on house arrest. The prosecutor saying, where's your fucking money from? We're telling him to get fucked and buying a new car every day just to piss him off, sitting there doing emergency meetings. Then, bang, 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 I hear the door. 5 a.m. But every time that we got raided, we galvanized our house against raids. However they got in the first time, they didn't get in the second time. This is raid number 3. So we got pretty good at it. We learned that they climb on the roof, so we put bulletproof glass. We bought doors from Switzerland for banks, 135,000 euro. Blast proof. We've removed all the windows. People make fun of my house. He lives in a warehouse. Yep. Raid me, dare you. You live in a nice house with glass. It's nice and pretty. You're not safe. I am. Bang, bang. I hear it. I wake up. I say to my girl, I'm like, give me your phone. Give me your phone. She starts panicking, gives her phone. I'm like, wipe your phone. Because all they want is phones. Wipe my phone. Factory reset. Wipe your phone. Go outside. Tristan's walking down. I'm like, wipe your phones. Done. Laptops, wipe all our laptops. Wipe, because all they want to see is fucking financial records, money, who we've been talking to, the school, how it works. Wipe. We wipe everything. Bang, bang, bang. And after about like 6-7 minutes, I was like, everyone wiped everything? Tristan goes, yeah. I was like, well, let's just chill. So we go in our cigar room. We sit there. I say to my girl, coffee. She goes and makes us 2 coffees. We get a cigar. We light the cigars up. And we're watching on our screen, on the cameras, 30 police outside with the fucking baton, and they're taking turns. One will go till he's tired, pass on to the next one. And we sat there with our coffees, smoking our cigars, saying, we're so fucked, bro. Tristan's like, I know. I'm like, we're going back, aren't we? He goes, 100%. This is to be the 3rd time. There's no way we can keep getting out. They're gonna fucking bang us up. I was like, I know. What are we gonna do? He goes, it's a matrix attack. It's got to ride it out. It's you and me. Always going to be you and me. We have to find a way to get into the same cell. We've got to do the blood pressure trick again. Got to eat raw coffee, do the blood pressure trick. I talked about that on Patrick Bay. You can put that in.
And then I said to Tristan, I whispered in his ear, I was like, they bugged this cell. Let's prove it. So we started talking about Ireland. I said, I wonder if they found the assets in Ireland. They took everything in Romania. I wonder if they found the assets in Ireland. We talked about it for about a week. And then we saw it on the news. Investigation expanded to Ireland. Neither him or I have ever been to Ireland in our lives. Never been there. No connection to it. So I was like, look, told you. I was like, yeah. So we continued to talk shit. So that's why they put us together. So we had to kind of develop sign language in the cell. So we didn't talk very much because everything was being listened to, right?
Get back in the same cell. We'll do our push-ups and just keep fighting. This is the fucking Matrix, bro. We're an enemy. We're an enemy to their enslavement, and this is what it is. I was like, yeah, you're right. Having our coffee, smoking. After about 50 minutes, they still couldn't get in. Hi, Romanian police. Not many people know that they couldn't get in my house. Bang, bang. After about 50 minutes, it stopped banging, and we watched on the cameras, and they were all just standing around outside, flabbergasted. Like, we can't get in this guy's house. They climbed all over the roof. They tried to break the bulletproof glass. They tried to break the front door. They couldn't get in. So I'm sitting there, and then we see a big yellow digger, like a big JCB, like an excavator driving down the road. And I said, Tristan, they're going to knock the walls down. They're just going to ram through the walls of the house and come in that way. Tristan goes, well, that'll be funny. And I said, yeah, but do we really need to have our house destroyed? Our phones are wiped now. We've had our coffee. We've had our chat. We're mentally prepared. Let's just open the door. Tristan goes, they're going to be so pissed. I was like, I know, bro. And then my girlfriend goes, I'll open it. It's like, really? She goes, yeah, I'm a girl. I'll just smile and try and like diffuse them. And, you know, I'll make some coffees. And if I'm holding a tray of coffee and I open it, maybe they won't grab me. I'm like, I can't really let you do that. Like, this is a brave thing. Let the men do it. She goes, no, you guys are brave enough. You're about to go to jail and I'll be free. And just let me open it, please. I'm like, all right. So she makes this little tray of coffees. She goes to the door. She presses the button. It's a button and all goes, unlocks. Hello? And I expected them to rush her. And I told her in advance, don't think less of a man of me if I don't start trying to kick the fuck out of these guys when they rush you, because that's what they're going to do. But that just gets me killed. Like, I'm warning you in advance. She's like, no, it's okay. But they didn't rush her. When she opened the door, they were like, we're coming in. She's like, yeah, of course. I moved. She goes, want coffee? And one of the guys on the way through actually took a coffee and goes, thanks. And they walked in. And I was like, sorry, guys. Didn't hear you. And he goes, those are some good doors. And I said, criminals can't afford those doors. Don't worry about it. You'll get the other criminals, but we're innocent. And the guy said to me, the guy in SWAT, you know, I've never raided someone's house 3 times. I was like, no? He goes, first time it's ever happened. I don't know who you've upset. So they weren't even mad at us because they knew it was a setup. The police knew, but they're just the muscle, bro. If you don't understand the justice system, you have the detective who does the idea of why you're guilty. You have the judge who decides if you're guilty or not. And then you have the hitters, the muscle guys. They're just like garbage collectors. They don't make the garbage. They just collect the garbage and take it where it's supposed to go. They don't know anything about your case. They don't know why you're there. They don't know the evidence. They're just told, here's an address, standard protocol, steal the money, drag the guy to the office. That's all they do. They don't know anything. So the officers with the guns and shit, unlike the first time where they kicked the fuck out of me, this time we're nice as pie. They're like, we don't know who you've upset. We were talking around the office. This is some bullshit. I was like, I know. He goes, bro, I feel sorry for you guys. We think you're good guys. We don't know what's going on. So no hard feelings. I'm like, bro, we know you're just doing a job. It is what it is. And it was quite a friendly interaction with the muscle. But then the decop detective walked in. He's a fucking dickhead, this guy. Thinks he's a tough guy. He thinks he's hard. And it's just like, bro, you're surrounded by armed men with guns. You are not tough. People talk to you like you're tough because you're with them. You're a bitch. And if I got hold of you by your neck, you'd be fucked. And you know it, and I know it. Shut up. So he walks in. We are here again for human trafficking. I'm like, bro, you're a fucking idiot, bro. I'm like, you're an idiot. Again? We've been over this 3 times. There is no human trafficking. We will see what the judge says. Starts stealing all my shit again. Just like last time. Stealing all the watches, which I bought for the 3rd time. This nice diamond, this big fat diamond AP. This is my 4th one. 3 of them are in decop possession today. They still have them. Start stealing all my shit. Stealing my watches. Stealing my gold. Stealing my cash. Stealing all the cars. Again, we had a nice driveway full of cars. Stole all that. Went through our entire fucking house, stole everything. Drag us out in front of the media. Can you bring the car inside the gate? No. Mr. Tough Guy Decaught Detective. All the real muscle, all the real men showed me respect because warriors respect warriors. But this bitch person who wants to be a warrior, but he's a little fucking punk, he's disrespectful. It's weird how that works. It's weird how big men can respect each other, but the little pussy must be a tough guy. I won't say his name, but he knows exactly who I'm fucking. He knows who he is. It's a fucking punk. So this dickhead starts taking our cars, and we say to him, they're not our cars, bro. They belong to a rental company in Portugal. If that's true, why have you paid to modify them? I have the receipts here where you've upgraded every car. Nobody upgrades a rental car. It's like, I just had money to spend. I don't know. Well, you've upgraded them, so I will tell the judge that they're your cars. Okay, jackass. So he takes all our shit. We go back to jail. The funny thing about PTSD is, it's amazing how quickly it comes back and how hard it is to get rid of. I'm back in the cell. And I'm like, you know, that was the first time I will admit to you, Jack, that my impenetrable armor, which I had been relying on all of this time, through the jail, through the attacks, through the assaults, through the company getting closed down, through the fact that my mother had a heart attack and I couldn't go and see her in England because I was on house arrest, through the fact I couldn't see my children, through all the endless war all day, every day, through in and out of jail, the PTSD. That was the first time I was like, I might be out of power. Because when I was thrown in jail after the third raid, and when you want to play footage of the third raid is when I walked out of the gate in a daddy t-shirt, daddy coin t-shirt. I got on the phone to my lawyer and I was like, I want to understand what's happening. He goes, talk to me. I said, okay. I'm stuck in Romania on house arrest. And while I'm on house arrest, they can attempt to jail me as many times as they want. He said, correct. Okay. And if they're successful, I stay in jail. He said, correct. I said, okay. And then I go to trial in Romania. He said, yes. And if I lose, I go to Rahova jail for 25 years. He said, correct. And after Rahova jail, when I'm an old man, I get extradited to the UK and I go to British jail. And then I have to face this bullshit made up charge in 2011 for assault, which they're probably going to throw away and then just go through all my Twitter for all the things I said about migrants and fuck me for that for 20 years. And he said, yes. And I said, and if I beat the Romanian case, I don't go to Rahova, but it's the same. I'm on house arrest. I go to jail a bunch of times while they try and jail me. They're probably going to get me back in jail. I beat my case in Romania. And when I beat my case in Romania, I'm instantly extradited to the UK and it all starts again. He said, yes. I was like, and while this was happening, it was when that piece of shit scumbag stabbed those 3 little girls in England, you remember? And I was doing emergency meetings saying the British government is complicit. And they were locking people up for those tweets. Do you remember? So I was like, they're going to fucking fuck me. The British government, if they get hold of me, they're going to fucking toast me for my Twitter. They're going to toast me for my emergency meetings for telling everyone that Keir Starmer fucks Ukrainian rent boys, because he does. That's why he keeps giving them billions. So I know the British government's after me. And I said to Alan, I was like, so either way, the next decade of my life is just jail, house arrest, and court. He said, yeah, either way, win or lose in Romania. And England, you don't stand a chance. I was like, I know. Everyone knows I don't stand a chance in England. And I put the phone down. I looked around the jail and I was like, how the fuck do I get out of this? What do I fucking do? I haven't done anything, Jack. I haven't done anything. I started a school teaching fucking Shopify. How the fuck do I get out of this? And for this case, the Romanians found 30 new victims of human trafficking. Tristan's yoga instructor, the mother of my kids, the daughter of my gardener, any girl we had ever interacted with. They just said we had attempted to human traffic. So they just found random girls who we knew and said that we had attempted to human traffic them. Imagine that. They just find you have attempted to human traffic them. Jail. Every girl was outside the court. In our defense.
Excuse me, are you one of the alleged Tate victims?
Yeah, I was listed as a victim and the court wants me to claim that I'm a victim even though I told them more than once that I'm not one. Tristan and Andrew were always very kind to me. They helped me many times and this is absurd.
After the third house raid, after a year and a half of slandering in the media, after the PTSD, after the smear attacks, after all of it, the only girl who has ever accused us of anything is girl A. Ever. So we go there in front of the judge and he says, I have a request here to jail you because there's 30 cases of human trafficking and one sex with a minor. So to the minor, I'd be like, oh, well, she's 17. At the time, you were accused to have been 26. And although that's not technically a minor, they're saying that because you were well known, you abused your power, some crap.
What country was that in?
Romania. The funny thing about that is that neither of us even slept with that girl. And she says we didn't. So that's another lie to slander us. I'm like, that girl says we didn't sleep with her. Read her fucking statement. And the judge is like, yes, the girl says you didn't sleep with her. I was like, so what the fuck are we talking about then? So it was all a setup. Because when the Brits tried to jail us the first time, and then we got out, tried to extradite us, didn't work, tried Lucy, didn't work, tried to take down the school, didn't work, they must have lent on the Romanians again and said, fucking get him off the fucking internet. And the Romanians said, we have nothing to get him with. And the UK said, make something up and go. So they came with 30 new victims and a pile of paper this big. I remember the NGOs, maybe we could find the tweets, were tweeting, Andrew Tate says there's no evidence in his case. What's this? And it was files all in the Romanian court with my name on them. Huge pile of files. I'll tell you what they were. Complete transcribes of my emergency meetings. And fucking transcribes of my YouTube videos. And transcribes of the surveillance they conducted on me for 2 years. And a pile of fucking bullshit from a prosecutor who decided that Tristan human trafficked his fucking yoga teacher and hit the mother of his own kid by giving her money for child support. The Romanian government is as corrupt as Zambia. It's a fucking setup. And the judge, thank God, goes through the file and goes, this is bullshit. I was like, I know. And said back to house arrest.
How were the 30 women selected?
They were literally just anyone they could find proof of a financial transfer or a text message between. Any text message, even hello, hello. But they never got our phones because we had wiped our phones. So it turns out that they had been going around and getting hold of and interviewing girls who they knew we knew. And they would go through their WhatsApp, and if they had ever spoken to us and they could find a conversation, they took their phones, downloaded that conversation, and said that we were attempting to groom them into human trafficking.
Do you think that they were just trying to siphon down which ones were most likely to turn on you?
100%. 1,000%. They were just trying to find victims. I mean, these girls were interviewed by DCAT, and they were pressured to turn. And they were like, no, he hasn't done anything. Oh, but he was going to do something to you. Okay, but he didn't. But we think he was going to because he's a bad person. Haven't you seen the news? Yeah, but he didn't do anything. Yeah, but he was going to. So do you admit you're a victim? No. Okay, well, our psychologist says you're brainwashed. So you're a victim. Victim. And their proof was the screenshot of Tristan saying to his yoga teacher, yes, how much is it per hour? Yes, okay, Thursday, 2 p.m. It was a fucking clown show. But it's Romania. It's Zambia. They don't give a fuck. And the DCAT, which is the most corrupt organization on the planet, DCAT's general motto, DCAT says, it's up to a judge to decide if you're innocent or guilty. To us, you're all guilty. I don't need proof you did anything. A judge decides. If I says you're an alien, I don't even need proof. You're a fucking alien. Jail. Go see the judge. Judge decides. I'm just a guy. I just print the paper. You're a fucking alien. Deal with it. This is how they talk. So they told me. So they say openly. You mess around in Romania, you piss anyone off, maybe a judge will save you. But to us, you're guilty. Don't talk to cops. That's how they work. So this case was even more pathetic than the first one. But I had a flashback. And I had a flashback after this one night in jail. And I'm sitting there and I've lost control of my mind for correction. I always have control of my mind. I lost a percentage of my powers after Alan told me my life was effectively over. And I'm sitting there in jail, and eventually they take me in front of the court, and Alan flicks through the file, and he goes, this one's even more stupid than the first one. There's no way you go to jail. I said, Alan, we've been here. He goes, I know, Andrew, I know, but every single one of these girls is defending you. I was like, they defended us last time. He goes, yeah, but with those girls, you knew them for a long time. There was a lot of messages between you. You were sleeping with them, whatever. These girls, you don't even know these girls. You haven't even had sex with these girls. So just, what can it be? There's no way you're going to go to jail. I was like, Alan, please don't even say that to me, please. And I remember sitting on the stand, and the judge, just like the first time, said, okay, I'm going to go make my decision. Went out back for an hour. And me and Tristan just sitting there looking at each other. And when the judge came out and said, house arrest, I almost cried. Almost. I almost cried. I couldn't believe it. I was so sure I was toast. So sure I was going to go back to jail. I almost cried. And when we got up to leave, to go back to house arrest, and we walked out the court and walked down the stairs, there's a video. Please play the video. I walk out and I say, built different.
You are okay?
Free man, built different. And I walk down and I say, this is disgusting to the media. And the daddy Shisha, I start screaming, this is disgusting. We have kids. And I'm screaming to the media, and the fucking idiots in the media are like, what about the human trafficking? Like, there's no fucking human trafficking. The fucking girls are on our side. The only girl who's ever accused us of anything is girl A, who's a fucking liar. There's no human trafficking of anyone. What the fuck are you talking about? And I do that whole speech about this is disgusting. Please play it. And we go back to our house, back to house arrest. Tristan and I sit there that night, and I'm like, they're going to keep fucking coming. And they're going to get us. They're going to find something. They're going to get us. Tristan's like, but they can't get in. So they can't get in. That's good. You know, we had to replace the door in the end because they damaged it, but it couldn't break it. So I'm sitting there and, you know, this entire time, all these months and years, my brain is, I didn't realize I was mentally unwell until now that I'm relatively free. I wasn't normal. The pressure and stress. Imagine someone says to you, imagine someone tells you you have cancer and you can die any minute, randomly. No, imagine they say that there is a particular fly in LA. And if that fly lands on you, you die. How do you drink coffee? It's only, okay, LA is a big place. And it's only one fly. But how do you go outside? Like, how do you leave your window open? Like, there's this fly out there. And if it touches me, I'm over. And for a year, I'm sitting there. At any minute, I can get dragged from my life. You know, my girlfriend would be like, hey, maybe next week we could go cinema. And I'd be like, there is no next week. There is no Wednesday. I can get dragged from my fucking house any minute. I can get taken at any time. I don't have Wednesday. I don't have next week. I don't have anything. Can we watch a movie tonight? There is no tonight. There's nothing but the pain I'm in right now. I wasn't sleeping. I couldn't plan for the future. Everything's fucked. But because I had enough mental discipline, I was just doubling down on the school. And I was planting the real world token. I launched the Daddy coin and we upgraded to the real world 2.0 and the school's still doing really well. And we're under all these constant attacks. But by now I'm not making the money as I made before. Not because we don't have students. We still have 200,000 students. But my margin's gone from 80% margin down to 10% margin because I'm spending 70% on fucking government level cyber protection. Because we're getting hacked and attacked and fucking endlessly fucking DDoS attacked and endlessly trying to fucking break our systems. I'm spending millions of dollars a week keeping the school online. So now I'm running it purely just to fucking piss my enemies off. And because the BBC is saying it's dangerous, my school, so I'm like, well then fuck you. So I'm keeping my school open. I'm not even making money from it anymore, really. I'll make $2 million a month or whatever, but not like before. So I'm sitting there on house arrest and I was mentally unwell. I'm going to be honest and just tell everyone the pressure I was under, the lies, the bullshit, the endless attacks, the endless garbage, all this shit's going on. And all of it comes from England. And they're trying to convince me to kill myself.
What part of it was pissing you off the most?
I don't think it was pissing me off. I think the word is, it's the anxiety. It's the fly. You have to imagine the fly. You have to, if you really want to understand this story, you need to go sit in your bathroom for an hour without a phone. Just do an hour. You need to imagine that bathroom's covered in cockroaches. And then you need to imagine every time you go outside, there's a fly. And if it touches you, you die. And you can't stop the fly. You can't see the fly coming, but it's there. And it wants to get you. It's looking for you. And LA is a big place, but it can fly and it's looking for you. And you're in your house and they're looking to try and get you and everyone's trying to put you in jail and they're watching everything you do. They watch every emergency meeting. They watch everything. They're spying on your garden. They have drones in the air. They're watching everything. There's house arrest. There's a police car outside. All your girlfriends are getting attacked. They're trying to convince you to kill yourself. They're attacking your school. They're trying to shut that down. All on the internet. There's these hater accounts funded by NGOs and they're attacking you. And all this shit's going on. And you're just sitting there just like, I'm just a fucking guy. I was teaching Shopify. I'm just a fucking dude. And you just have to get Aikido. And fucking resist. What else are you gonna do? Die, I guess. Most men in my position would have killed themselves. Most men in my position would have at least broken or cracked or said sorry or apologized or did a deal or give up. I could have gone to the decall anytime and said, okay, I'll admit I'm guilty, there's no jail. And I'll shut the school down, I'll delete the internet, and I go away as a sex trafficker, and I just vanish, and I keep my little bit of money, and I go away. Every man would have done that. All these men watching this now think they wouldn't have done that. Yes, you would have. All these tough guys, they would have fucking given up, said, yeah, And as long as I don't get jail, I keep the bit of money I have saved. I'll shut the school down. I'll be gone from the internet. Andrew Tate's gone. He was a big thing. Then he was a sex trafficker. Now he lives in Vietnam. I'll just let me go away. I was like, no. Fuck Keir Starmer. Fuck the Romanian government. Fuck the Matrix. Fuck you. No. Because I was fighting them and they were frustrated. And I like to believe that as much as I was suffering, my enemies were very frustrated with me. We said in our last podcast, I said sarcastically in a hyperbolic way about an imaginary scenario where someone came to me and said, we know you're not a bad person, Andrew. You have these ideas, but not everyone's smart enough to understand your ideas. And some young men are going to misunderstand your ideas and they're going to hit their girlfriend or they're going to do something bad or kill someone. And we just want to have a nice, safe society. And if you just change the way you talk about certain things, we know you don't want anyone to get hurt. Those were real conversations. I was offered to disappear. And it's funny because they would hint. They would say, you know, you were offered this before in a more favorable scenario, which was the sponsorship contract. You didn't want it. Why don't you just go away? Just fuck off. Just go away and all of this will go away. If you go away for a year, no one's going to care about the case when it gets dropped and it's all gone. Just go away. I wouldn't do it. I was like, no, you started this. You started this. I had a fucking Shopify school. You started this because I got too big. I was saying the right thing. I was doing good. I was helping young men make money, helping them resist enslavement, helping them avoid student debt, helping the fucking world because I'm a good guy and you're a piece of shit. I became your enemy, but I'm still the good guy. You started this fucking fight. We're going to see it through to the fucking end. Fuck you. Not until the BBC says, not guilty, Andrew Tate was innocent, and the Romanian state owes him $1 billion in reparations. That's what I want. That's the fight you fucking started. Because my mind's fucked, Jack. You fucked up the only thing I have, which is my mental fucking health. No car matters when your fucking mind's gone. No money matters when your fucking mind is gone. You've taken the one thing from me that can make me fucking happy. So you know what? I'm not going to kill myself. You have to kill me. You want me dead, then you have to fucking do it. I'm not going to make it easy for you. You have to kill me. And that's why I decided to fight them. Not because I'm brave, and not because I believed I could win, but because I was just ready to fucking lose. I just lost it. So I was like, fuck you.
So you said no.
When Tate told me, so Tate took me into their office and they said, after the first raid where I didn't manage to wipe my phones, they had my phones from the first raid. And they said, we're prepared to drop everything, make it all go away. But we need to get access to your phones. I said, why do you need access to my phones? We're going to drop everything. Like, oh, we just need to thoroughly conclude our investigation. And we'll give you some paperwork now in advance that you have immunity and everything's going to be dropped. It doesn't matter what's found in those phones. It doesn't matter if it's cocaine. Even if you've moved cocaine, the other guy will get in trouble, but you won't. But there may be some other people around you or whatever. Maybe they'll get criminal cases, we'll be honest with you, but you will be immune if you just open your phone. And I said, how do I know this is true? How do I know this is real? They're like, this is real. You're going to have to shut up on the internet. You're going to have to be quiet. You're going to have to go away. Your case is going to go away. We need access to your phone. Here's the deal. You're going to stop doing your emergency meetings. You're going to stop talking about it. You're not going to tweet. We're going to wait a year, year and a half. What I believe they were doing is giving me immunity in Romania, and then they were going to give the phone downloads to the Brits. That's what I think they were going to do. And the Brits were going to fuck me. That's what I believed. But they were telling me that you're going to be immune in Romania, and it doesn't matter what it is, all your case is going to go away. I remember sitting there going, I don't believe you. I want to do it, but I don't believe you. Like, why you don't believe us? We'll give you a paperwork. We'll give you contracts. So I need to trust my lawyer, and the paperwork needs to be bulletproof. I'm like, okay. So for 3 weeks, Alan and Tate are negotiating on this paperwork, on how to get the exact paperwork that I'm happy to sign, that my case will be dropped and everything will go away if I give up access to my phones. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And every time Alan will go, you happy with this? I go and complain about this line. I just being a fucking headache for like a month. Because when they took my phones, by Romanian law, you have to tell them the password. So the first time they raided my house, they got my phone, they said, it is the law that you must tell me your password. If you do not tell me your password, you get an automatic 2-year jail sentence. And I said, well, I'm not denying give me my password. I'd love to give you my password. Unfortunately, because this is a stressful situation, I forgot. I don't remember. Tell us. I'm sorry, sir. I have forgotten. I don't remember. So I can give it to you. Because they can't prove in court that I remember it. They can prove I said no. I didn't say no. I forgot. And I don't have a number password on my phone because I'm not a dickhead. I have a nice, long, multi-character, 40 character long, exclamation marks, fucking dashes. I got my whole fucking lot. You can type it. I tested it on one of those password testers. They're like 4 trillion years. Because everyone thinks the police have magic powers. They don't. They can just brute force a phone. That's all they can do. They plug it into something called Cellbrite. This is for all the people at home. They plug it in, and then it overrides the automatic lockout, and then they can just attempt passwords on repeat until they get in. So if you have a 4-digit number password, because they get unlimited attempts and because there's not that many opportunities or not that many combinations, they'll get in an hour. And if you have a simple word, they'll get in an hour. But if you have a password like mine, 3 trillion years. Space aliens will eventually read my phones. Because I'm sure they're still trying. Go for it. But I forgot the password. It was stressful. It was a stressful time, Jack. So we're doing this paperwork. Eventually, after I've nitpicked every single thing, they bring me in there and I'm like, okay, let's go over this again. They said, okay, here's what's going to happen. You're going to be given immunity in Romania for anything that's found on that phone. Your current case is going to be dropped. You're going to be quiet on the internet. We're going to let all the media buzz die down. All of this is going to go away. And when everything's over and no one cares about it anymore, your case will be dropped and you will not go to jail in Romania. And then you can go deal with your English problem. But for the next year, while your case is nice and quiet, you get to live in Romania. You don't get extradited, live a nice time, stay in Romania. You won't be allowed to leave the country, but you'll stay here. And then when no one talks about it, we'll drop your Romanian case, and then all your British problems, we have nothing to do with them. We're Romanian prosecutors. It's like, okay. And that's the truth. Like, yeah, that's the truth. Because it took a whole month to sort these papers out. And I took papers, and I was like, I forgot. I threw the papers back. I forgot what? I forgot my password. Sorry. Can't give it to you. I don't remember. And the rage on their faces, because I had wasted an entire month of their life signing these papers back and forth, promising them that I'm going to give them what they wanted. And they're like, you know, we could put you back in jail. It's like, for what? They're like, interfering with police, some garbage. Interfering with police process, something. I was like, my friend, whether you put me in jail or not, I forgot. And they didn't do shit. I went back to house arrest. That's how I declined their fucking offer. Fuck them. They started this war.
Did you realize a lot of people don't think about, I guess, in game theory, like you have like masters of the game, and you are someone with, I guess, elite pattern recognition that defected, you know? And you might have assumed at the time, or at least thought, like maybe there's a chance that they'll actually let me go, but it never makes sense for the game masters to actually let someone who's outside of the system go.
Of course. Of course. I sat and thought. My thinking at this point is this. I'm toast. And I'm fighting this war because they begun it, and I'm fighting this war because I've lost my mind. And I've lost my mind because of the pressure I'm under. And the reason I know I'm toast is very simple. If the Romanian state don't find me guilty, they owe me $1 billion. They destroyed my school. They destroyed the image of the most Googled man on the planet. They've unfairly imprisoned me 3 times. I spent 3 years locked in my house. I didn't see my kids. My mom had a heart attack. I couldn't see my legal counsel. I was in a jail, which Romania pays hundreds of millions of dollars a year to the European Union in fines for the unfair treatment of prisoners because it's worse than pigs are kept in farms. They owe me $1 billion. Are the Romanians going to let me go so they have to pay me $1 billion? Let's all be fucking smart here. No. Why the fuck would Romania let me off? They'll just find me guilty. It saves $1 billion. They're not that rich, bro. It's a poor country and it's a corrupt shithole. It's got the same judicial fucking integrity as Zambia. You think they're going to let me go after I'm on emergency meetings calling them corrupt and then pay me $1 billion? Never. So this entire time, am struggling mentally because I believe that it's over. But I have come to the conclusion, like a kamikaze pilot, that it's going to be a beautiful death. I don't think I'm going to win, Jack. It's just going to be a beautiful death in a big fireball. Glory for Japan. I think it's over. I don't believe in victory on any level. Neither does Tristan. And we talk every day about how we're glad we get to die together. That's it. So after the third arrest, and I come out and I scream, "This is disgusting," in the cameras, we go back to house arrest. This is now 3 years into this fucking saga. No girls accuse me. The media says I'm a human trafficker. Everyone's saying I'm dangerous to women. The only girl who's ever accused me is Girl A. Girl A, I'm going to talk about her history in a minute. I go back to house arrest. And finally, because after these 3 years, I've never had a trial. I've never had a chance to present evidence or anything. I've never had a chance to say, "Oh, by the way, do you know Girl A accused 10 other men of sexual assault? Do you know Girl A accused her father of sexual assault? Do you know Girl A is on psychiatric drugs? Do you know Girl A has been sectioned? Do you know?" I don't have a chance. I have the evidence, but I've never had a chance to present it.
What was that last part you said? Girl A has been
sectioned.
What's that mean?
Taken to a mental institution against her will.
Got it.
Finally, I get a trial date after these 3 years. I'm like, finally, I get a chance to present my evidence. But before you go to trial in Romania, there's something called the preliminary chamber. And the preliminary chamber is basically an overview of the case to check, not the evidence of the case, to check that the case was constructed legally, to check how the evidence was constructed and if it was legally put together before the case goes to trial. Because they used to have problems in Romania where people would go to trial with cases and they do the whole trial and at the end find out there was no warrant. So they had to throw all the evidence out, and then people who they knew were guilty would walk. So now before they go to trial, they have to check everything was done correctly. We go to the preliminary chamber. It's 2-stage. You have stage 1 and you have the appeal. We go to the preliminary chamber, and my lawyer says, "Here are 23 pages of laws that DCAUT has broken while constructing this file. The translator they used didn't have a translation certificate. The warrant they used to raid the house had the wrong address. It was a fucking shit show. 23 pages of broken laws." Funnily enough, after this day, when the preliminary chamber started, I want to add this point in because it makes it funny. It was one of the funny things that happened. I got all my cars back. I went to do a judge rule. After I walked out and said, "This is disgusting," a Portuguese billionaire from a company in Portugal with a Portuguese lawyer put papers into the Romanian system saying that his assets for his rental company had been seized and stolen unfairly because he just rented them to some guy. And a Portuguese lawyer flew to Romania and went to court and said, "I'm representing a rental company in Portugal, which rents cars to this guy, and my company has lost assets, and my company has nothing to do with human trafficking, so we deserve them back." And the judge said, "Yeah, you're right. You should get them back." So this day, when the preliminary chamber began, that little piece of shit, that little fucking detective who took the cars with "You modified the cars," he had to take all the cars and drive them back to my address. White 812 competition, $1.5 million. All of them, all my fucking expensive cars. He had to bring them all back because they weren't mine. I was like, "Hey, bro, thanks for bringing them back. Told you they weren't mine." "Well, the judge says they're not yours." I was like, "Bro, they are mine. You know they're mine." Never seen a man so mad in his life. I'm like, "Park it over here." And he would just dump it somewhere. "You park it." So "You took it, dickhead." So we're having an argument with this guy to bring me all my cars back. They kept my watches. They kept my gold. They kept my cash. They kept the house. They kept all that shit. But he had to bring me my cars back. Sorry, he had to bring the Portuguese guy his cars back. Because some genius, some fucking smart, handsome guy. Funny story. Anyway, so I got all my cars back. Please put that clip in. So we have the preliminary chamber. And we give 23 pages of broken laws. Our judge, this is the biggest case in Romanian history.
What year is this in month?
This will be after the daddy arrest jail time, 2023 September-ish.
So right when we did a podcast and you went to jail.
Correct. I went to jail very soon after our podcast, didn't I? That was after they got me again. Yeah. Yeah. So
Sorry about that.
yeah, no, it's just hard for me to remember the dates of it all and when I was free, when I was out. because I was like out and then back and then out and then back. So I get put back in house arrest. We go to the preliminary chamber. This is the biggest case in Romanian history. And our judge, it's her first ever case. Some brand new woman, younger than me. It's her first ever case. No, I think before that she was dealing with traffic tickets. And now she's dealing with the Andrew Tate case. I'm like, that's suspicious, isn't it, Alan? Why would they give this case? He goes, oh, it's a lottery system. I'm like, which move would be good for her career? To help us or to fuck us? And he's like, well, to fuck you, of course. I'm like, okay, great.
Did you have a disproportionate amount of female judges?
Yes, but the woman who let me out was a female. So I can't say anything bad about that because the first time I got out of jail was a woman. And plenty of men fucked me. But then the second time, it was a panel of judges. No, it was a panel of judges the first and the second time. The third one, when I got arrested in the daddy t-shirt, was a man. And the man said no jail, house arrest. He was a man. But anyway, this young woman, I'm like, okay, well, she's a judge. So she's done her job, whatever. We give her the 23 pages of broken laws. I say to Alan, what's our chance of beating this in preliminary chamber? He said 100%. So why? He goes, there's no way. They didn't have a warrant for the things they did because they had the wrong address on the warrant, which means anything they took from the house, they can't use. Their translations, the translator they used, didn't have an English degree. The girls who they're saying are brainwashed by the psychologist never met the girls. The psychologist signed a piece of paper saying the girls she had never spoken to are brainwashed. He goes, this is the most garbage ever. Of course you're going to be preliminary chamber. I'm like, Alan, you said this a lot. He goes, but last time I said it, you didn't go to jail. He goes, at the beginning of all this, when they set you up, there was all this heat. Now everyone knows you're innocent. Everyone in Romania knows, everyone on the internet knows, everyone knows you're innocent. They can't stitch you up like they did at the beginning and put you in jail. They can't stitch you up anymore because everyone knows you're innocent. And last time I said you weren't going to go to jail, and I told you that case was bullshit, you didn't go to jail. We're going to win the preliminary chamber because they've broken every law. And I'm like, why did DCOT break the laws? He goes, they probably were told to do it in a rush, probably hastily. And also, he said, I'll be honest with you, in the Romanian system, often they do break laws. But in the end, they get the payoff. He explained that in Romania, though, DCOT will break a bunch of laws to get a drug dealer. And then they'll go to the judge and say, okay, we broke a bunch of laws, yes. But here's the complaint. You want to let him out? And in Romania, they'll overlook the broken laws because they have the complaint. He goes, but the problem with you is they broke a bunch of laws to find human trafficking and all the girls are on your side.
There are no victims in this case.
I can say that DCOT is trying to manipulate the girls, saying only what is beneficial to them.
So they thought, well, we'll just hastily throw this together because Andrew's on podcasts like Fresh and Fit talking about pimping.
Having sex was the easy part.
That's when the game starts.
That's when the game starts. Now I need her to quit her job, leave her house, move in with me, work on webcam, do as I say, share me with other women, and give me her money. That's the hard part.
And that he has all these women and that he cheats on these girls. And then when we throw together this bullshit case, we'll get all these girls and we'll pressure him saying, Andrew's a cheater. He cheats on you. Why don't you say you're a victim? But every single girl's defended you. He goes, they've never had this before. Normally when you say to a man's girl that he cheats, she rolls. Your girls are like, I love him anyway. They've never had this. He goes, so they haven't got the claim. And that's why the fact they broke the laws matters because they don't have the payoff. So don't worry about it. So we go to the preliminary chamber. We spend a few weeks with this nice young judge and we explain everything to her. We give her the pages of broken laws and then it comes back. Case is fine. Proceed. And even Alan said, this is a bigger stitch up than your initial jailing. This is a bigger stitch up. This decision is more corrupt than your initial jailing. No one can get through preliminary chamber with a case this bad. And their plan was exactly what I described. Break every law, do it in a rush. UK said hit me. Come up with some crap, raid my house, do whatever it takes, base it on lies, and then get enough girls in a room. Because you know what they did with all the girls they interviewed? They had a leaderboard. All my girlfriends, they had a leaderboard. And they went through all my bank accounts and all my bank transfers and everywhere I'd ever gone on holiday. And they had all their names. So imagine they bring in a girl. Let's make up a girl. Anna. Hello, Anna. Hi. We're here to talk to you because you're number 7 on Andrew's list. What's Andrew's list? Number one is Mary. He's given her $400,000 and he's taken her to Italy and Croatia and Spain. Number two is Bethany. Bethany had $385,000 and he bought her a car. You're number seven because he bought you a handbag on your birthday and he did take you on one holiday, but you can see that financially, because Andrew's a criminal and all his money is financial crime, financially, you get a lot less than the other girls. So did you know that he didn't love you and you're so low down the list? And it's fucking smart as fuck because women love money. These girls were so mad the other girls got more money. They'd leave the decot thing and call me. I'd be like, what happened? Why did you buy her this? I'm like, whoa. This is my life. My life is on the line. Stop. What did they ask you? Yeah, but you bought that bitch a handbag. I'm like, what the fuck? The girls cared more that I bought a bitch more shit than they cared about me going to jail forever. Because women only care about money. The bottom line of it. Well, you love her more. So that's how decot were trying to get the girls to roll on me. But none of them did. Not a single girl rolled on me. Every single one, no matter how much they upset them, no matter what they showed them, no matter what they told them, at the end of it said, still love him. Nope. Then they got the psychologist in to say they're brainwashed. And they'd say, the psychologist report said, we showed her that other girls got more money and she still didn't turn. And my lawyer was like, this has never happened in Romanian history. When you get a gangster from Romania and you drag his wife in and show that he spent more money on other bitches, she rolls. Because your girls just don't roll. And decot are furious. So that worked out well for me. So that's why they broke all the laws. But the preliminary chamber said, go ahead. And I said to Alan, if this is a bigger stitch up than the initial jailing, what chance do I have of winning this case? And Alan said, I'm very concerned. We need to get back in touch with the American embassy. We need to tell the American embassy and show them the judge's decision, this young brand new judge who's given this decision to fuck you. We need to show the laws they've broken. We need to get American litigation involved. We have to get an American judge to look at this because this Romanian judge is fucking useless. This is either corruption or ineptitude. Either one, your life's on the line. We need to get to the embassy. So I start calling the embassy. Can I have an appointment? Can I have an appointment? I'm an American citizen. I'm an American citizen. They're busy. Can't get an appointment with the embassy. And then Providence. You know, in this story, there's so much luck. The Romanians, in their absolute hubris, decided to overthrow their own election. Don't know if you heard about this. I was locked in my house for the third year with no end in sight, and I've just lost the preliminary chamber. And Romania has an election for who the leader's going to be. And all of the people vote for a man called Calin Georgescu, who is a right-wing, Trump-esque figure who believes in restoring the sanctity of Romania. He's anti-Ukraine war. He doesn't want to give them any money. He doesn't want any migrants. He's a right-wing candidate. He wins the presidential election by a landslide with 65% of the vote. And the next day, the Constitutional Court cancels the election, says it was corrupted by Russian interference, call him a Russian agent, and send him to jail. The prosecutor which sent him to jail is the same prosecutor as me. The same prosecutor who locked up the rightful president of Romania and thrown him in jail is my prosecutor. The attack dog for the Matrix, I assume. So he goes to jail, and they start to redo the election. Now, only 3 countries in history have undone an election. I believe one is Kyrgyzstan, one is Mongolia, and the third is Romania. That's how corrupt this shithole is. That when someone wins, they go, the Russians interfered. Now, the truth is this. Every European country rigs its elections. AfD in Germany, it's rigged. They let AfD win a little bit, but not properly. Marine Le Pen in France, she caught a criminal case just before she could win. Europe rigs their elections, but Romania's Romania. So they got told to rig it, and they were like, yes, my friend, I will rig it, okay. Didn't rig it, because they're fucking useless. Fucked it up, and had to run and panic to undo it, just like they did my case. Just fucking threw it together slapdash, because they're useless. When the Germans rigged their election, it's done right. So AfD wins 22%, but not quite enough to get the C. Almost there. Keep voting, guys. Keep voting. We'll vote our way out of this. The Romanians fucked up their rigging. So they had to redo the whole election. Now imagine this. I've been locked in my house for 4 years without charge. I'm an American citizen, the only American citizen they've ever jailed. All of my victims are on my side. And for the first time, the entire international community is talking about how fucking corrupt Romania is. That's great for me. For the first time, everyone's on Twitter, Romania's a fucking dump. They overthrew their election. What a setup. Why is their court saying he's a Russian agent? Why is it the same prosecutor as Andrew's prosecutor? This is a fucking setup. And all over Romanian news, they're even saying on the Romanian news, our democratic and judicial processes are under so much scrutiny internationally, we look like a banana republic. This looks worse than Africa. We look like a fucking shithole. No one believes any of our processes anymore. And people are on the Romanian news reporters are saying, and now the Tate brothers are involved in every conversation, because now, after protesting their innocence for 4 years or 3 years, now everyone's saying they might actually be innocent, because we look like fucking clowns, which they did. So all of this is happening. And then we go to the appeal stage of the preliminary chamber, which is a higher judge than the little girl they got in to rig it. And during all this mess with international scrutiny, with Trump just one president-elect at that time, so now they're scared because Trump's coming back, the Dems have just lost, the EU's rigged the Romanian election, all this international pressure, Trump's not president, but he's president-elect. And Vance is talking about the integrity of Europe, and Vance mentions Romania. The Romanians are panicking. The Americans are watching. Trump is coming back. The big boss is coming back. Everyone knows. Panicking. I go to the appeal for the preliminary chamber. My lawyer gives them the same page of 25 broken laws to the same case file, the same page of broken laws. We go to the appeal judge, and the appeal judge comes back with 210 pages of broken laws and says, I'm sorry, lawyer. You're wrong. They didn't break 23 pages of laws. They broke 210 pages of laws. Dismissed. Because with all that international scrutiny, with J.D. Vance, with Trump coming back, with everyone watching, all of a sudden the judge knew they had to do their job. And the judge came back and said, here's 210 pages of broken laws. This entire case, the 4 years of house arrest, the jailing, the missing my mother after she had a heart attack, the PTSD, the repeated attacks, everything thrown out. Then the judge says something really weird. But we're keeping the jailing conditions. He must remain on house arrest. Because we're returning the file to the prosecutor to amend these 210 pages of mistakes. So this was a really weird experience. And then I posted a video, please put the video in here, of me sitting in my podcast studio ranting to camera about how all the things that happened to me should have never happened to me.
I will continue to fight. I'm an innocent man. I've done nothing wrong. I'm not going to be quiet. I'm not going to do a deal. I'm not going to lay down. I'm going to fight this absolutely tooth and nail.
Because the case has just been thrown out. The case got dismissed. Case over. Case is gone. So I go and I ask my lawyer, I said, so they've thrown the case out? He goes, yes. Why am I still locked in my house? He goes, that has never happened in history before. Never in history has a case been thrown out of court and the conditions for which have been applied to a suspect have remained. I currently have, and from that point onwards, had no active case in the court. I was as free and innocent as any other person. Why am I locked in my house?
Did you have a case in the UK at the time?
I had the case they're trying to extradite me for.
Okay, got it.
I had that one. So who is telling the Romanian state, no matter what they do, to keep me locked in my house at least? Well, we're going to get there. So they're like, and they also kept my stuff. So the case which they raided my house, locked me in my house for, locked me in jail for, and stole all my things for has been thrown out. But I'm still locked in my house and they've kept my things. Make that make sense. So her ruling said 210 pages of laws have been broken. This case is a fabrication. This case is fallacy. It's literally fantasy. And the prosecutor can now take the case back and fix every single one of these problems. In the meantime, we're going to leave Andrew locked in his house. So the file goes back to the prosecutor. Now, how can a prosecutor fix the fact that he didn't have a warrant when he did something? Do they have a fucking time machine? No. The prosecutor cannot fix this mess. Of course he can't. How can he fix all the fucking mess he made? Because he lied. How can he fix the fact that none of the girls turned on me like he wanted? He can't. So the prosecutor now has this file on his desk, and I'm left on house arrest. This is December of 2023 under President Joe Biden. So when everyone talks about Trump saved Andrew, I think Trump's aura of coming into power may have saved me. I think J.D. Vance highlighting the corruption of Europe may have saved me. But nobody fucking helped me. Nobody gave me a call. Ever. So I'm locked in my house in January. Locked in my house in February. Then I get a phone call. DCOT want to see you. I go to the DCOT office. I'm like, so what are you going to do with your file that got thrown out, dipshit? How are you going to fix it? You haven't got a fucking time machine, have you? He goes, you'll be surprised what we can do with the file. And the criminal facts will be decided by a court. Some bullshit answer. I'm like, yeah, well, basically you ain't got shit. And you know you ain't got shit. So eventually this is going to blow up in your fucking stupid face. He goes, anyway, I didn't bring you here to talk about this. I've decided you can have your passports and you can go. I'm like, what? He goes, you can go now. So I can just go? Wait. I was locked in my house and I was guilty and I was innocent. I did all these bad things and you're going to put me back in jail and all this crap. And now you're just saying, here, take my shit and go. Get passports, leaves the room. First time in 4 years. But this time I'm still locked in my house. I just get my passport away. I look at Alan like, what the fuck? I can literally leave? He goes, yeah, you got your passport, you can just leave. And then Alan goes, but don't fuck it up. Don't say anything on Twitter. Go dark on Twitter. Let's organize you a jet. Let's get you out of here. I was like, does this mean my case is over? And he goes, officially and unofficially are different answers. But if they really thought you did something, they'd never give them your passport. Like, why have they given it to me? He goes, because they know they set you up. And they're scared of it all coming out. They're scared of it all coming out, that the UK made them do it, and that you're American citizens, and now Trump's coming back. And one day, someone's going to ask questions about why this happened, who did it, why the Tates were fucked when they haven't done anything wrong. It's going to come on someone's desk, and he doesn't want the heat anymore. Because Trump's coming back. They've just overthrown their election. Everyone knows they're a corrupt dump. And the whole news in Romania is talking about not just the presidential election, but you and Tristan. So they just want you gone. You're a thorn now. You're annoying now. They don't want the news to talk about you anymore. They want you to leave. And I was like, but what about the English extradition? He goes, well, your case isn't officially over because yes, it's been thrown out, but it's gone back to the prosecutor. So it's still technically open. So UK can't extradite you. And I thought back to myself in that cell when I thought I had no way out. And I'm like, so I get to go to America. He goes, yeah. I was like, I remember being in jail when I thought the next 10 years are just jail, house arrest, get extradited to England. He goes, that's what it should have been. I've never seen anything like this. Just don't go to England. I said, don't worry, I'm not going to go there. And then we got on a plane. And we flew to Florida. And I expected to return to a hero's welcome, Jack. All this shit I've been through, all this crap, I expected to come back as an American citizen to a hero's welcome. And Ron DeSantis and his little girlfriend, AG, started running their mouths that we're pieces of shit and they're going to investigate us so we deserve to go to jail. And my heart was broken. I couldn't believe it. And I was tweeting every day at the AG, tag at the AG, come get me, come arrest me. I left America when I was 8. What have I done? Nothing. You know what the AG did? The AG of Florida, Ulfmeyer, whatever his name is, and Ron DeSantis, those two little fucking homos, really pieces of shit people. To be honest with you, I think Ron was ambushed. I think when the media said, Andrew Tate's on a plane, he's a human trafficker and he's coming here. I think he didn't know anything and he was just like, oh, human traffickers are not good people. I think it was a mistake from him. I forgive him. But I don't forgive his stupid little fucking AG who wanted to make a name for himself and double his Twitter followers and started opening an investigation into me the second I landed for no reason. No crime. Usually there's a crime, you find the guy who did the crime. You don't find a guy and try and find crimes he did. That's communism.
Who is the Attorney General?
James Ulfmeyer.
Got it. Okay.
Ulfmeyer, something like this. So he opens an investigation into me the second I land as an American citizen, saying that I'm a human trafficker and I'm a bad person and all this garbage. I expected to come home to a fucking hero's welcome. And I did a podcast with Candace Owens about that because even she said this is insane. You know what he did? He wrote to the Brits saying, do you want me to arrest him and send him to you? You got an active warrant. Do you want me to send him to you? I'll come get him and send him to you. He wrote to the Brits. And I'm sitting in Florida in Miami and I refuse to leave. So I keep tweeting, come get me, Ron. Come get me, James. Come get me. Come get me. Come get me. Because, Jack, I've lost my mind. I finally get free from this fucking mess. I come back to the country my father served for. And they fucking open a case on me and start saying I'm a human trafficker. Why? Because Romania said so, the country that can't even have an election? And now we're going to repeat what they said like it means a fucking thing? I come to Florida where I'm suing girl A, and I'm attacked by the state? And I did a podcast with Candace on it because I was so flabbergasted. That piece of shit writes to the Brits. But I think the Brits are in a quagmire because, like Moby Dick, in their haste to get hold of me, they didn't quite understand the complexities of extradition and also the brutal inefficiency of Romanian law. Because the Brits tried to extradite me, and the warrant has been satisfied. I will be extradited when my Romanian case is complete. My Romanian case is on a prosecutor's desk. If the prosecutor closes the case, Romania owes me $1 billion. So it's in the prosecutor's interest to keep the case open on his desk, a case he can't fix, until he retires. Because if he closes it, they owe me $1 billion. And the UK can't get me as long as that case is open. The UK are pissed, calling the Romanians saying, close the case if you don't have a case. And the Romanians are saying, we're not saying we don't have a case, we're saying it's difficult to fix, but we're going to try because if they close it, they owe me $1 billion. So the UK, when James Altmaier wrote to them, were like, we can't technically do that legally because we've already tried to extradite him and the extradition warrant has been satisfied. So now what happens? When I fly around the world, like I was just in Hong Kong, is that the Foreign Office of the UK call the hotel and try and get me kicked out of the hotel. That's how petty and pathetic they are. The owner of the Rosewood Hong Kong, which is the top-ranked hotel in the world, by the way, #1, it won in 2026 the best hotel in the world. The owner of the hotel is a friend of mine. And he came to me and said, you will not believe the British government just called me and told me that you're a criminal and that you have an active extradition warrant out of Romania and that we should kick you out of this hotel. I said, the British government has time to call hotels and try and make me, I mean, what does that do? It doesn't extradite me. It just inconveniences me. I have to go get another hotel. They are spending government money trying to inconvenience me by getting me kicked out of hotels because they can't extradite me because the Romanians won't close the case because the Romanians owe me money because I haven't done anything.
They also released, what was it, an article about how they could raid your phone without, they could ask people who were non-Hong Kong citizens for their passcode if they were going through an airport the same time you were there.
Correct.
That was something I noticed.
Correct. In fact, that article came out in Hong Kong when they changed the law in Hong Kong about raiding people's phones and how they could instantly force you to give them the password and you're not allowed to forget it. I was on a plane an hour later. I left instantly because that law was changed for me. Because England still has massive influence in Hong Kong because of the history of Hong Kong. So I believe that was all about trying to get into my phones, which the Brits are still trying to do to this day. Because the Brits have an active case. Because remember, I assaulted someone in 2011. You know what's really interesting? Guess who else assaulted someone in 2011? Tristan. Both of us. Funny that. That's not a coincidence. That's not a fucking setup. Every time I go anywhere, when I land in Hong Kong, the newspapers start printing. Andrew Tate, wanted by England. The Prime Minister of England said, Andrew Tate is this. Because the British Foreign Office call the media and say, lie about him in the media. They call the hotel and say, kick him out of the hotel. Because they can't stand when they see videos of me walking down the street and thousands of young men going, top G, top G, top G. Because that's why it all started. Because that's what they're fucking scared of. Me inspiring young men to tell these fucking clowns to fuck off. Because they are destroying society on purpose, destroying masculinity on purpose, because we are the last resistance against enslavement. We are the revolution which is coming. Young men are the revolution which is going to finally overthrow this bullshit. And that's why they're trying to delay it as long as possible so they can steal. So my current legal predicament is this. I have an active case in UK. I have an active case in Romania. And I'm here in America. And I'm here in America to sue Girl A. Now, when I began my lawsuit against Girl A when I first got out of jail, it started getting really expensive. You know, when you're trapped in a web as a fly, there's two spiders. One's the government, and the others are lawyers. Everyone's hungry. So you're there, And it started to get really expensive to fight against girl A. I'm like, she's some little psychotic liar. Why is this so expensive? And they said, she has 11 lawyers. How did she get 11 lawyers? And they said, well, her entire legal defense is being funded by a USAID funded NGO. Also, in disclosure, we have discovered that 3 days before she contacted Tristan and asked to come to Miami, she was paid $30,000 by the NGO. So a liberal NGO gave $30,000 to girl A. She went to Romania for 5 days, made a false accusation, and vanished. The Romanian state then, at the behest of the British, used corruption to completely fucking destroy our lives where we stood no chance of survival. We somehow get out, and in an American court, bring girl A to court. And the NGO gets 11 of the best lawyers in the world, $10 million deep in legal fees, trying to stop the case going forward and get it thrown out so she doesn't get to pose on a stand on TV and prove this whole thing from the start was a setup. From the beginning. And all of it happened because I had too many clippers selling my school, became the most Googled man in the world, and they know that men are the enemy to what they're doing to the world. The more masculine a population, the harder it is to subjugate them, and they know that. So me saying go to the gym, stick up for yourself, get a Bugatti, be a man, work hard, whatever, considered an act of terror by the UK government. Lucy Williams, the BBC. You walk around with your Bugatti and your cigar in a misogynistic way. Please play the clip.
Also, financial success
correct.
with a Bugatti and a cigar, but it comes with a side order of misogyny.
How does having a Bugatti and a cigar come with misogyny?
Doesn't even make any fucking sense. She's an idiot, a mouthpiece for the propaganda machine. All of this, from the very beginning, was a set-up. And now we're at the stage where they couldn't get the case thrown out. They couldn't get it to go away. She will be deposed, and the case will go ahead. And that only happened 2 weeks ago. And for the first time in a long time, since that happened, since the NGO across the last 3 years, with every delay tactic, with every attempt to get this case thrown out, with anything it would take to make this case go away, when they have finally failed, when the Floridian government investigated us have failed, when the UK government has their bullshit warrant they can't execute, when the Romanians have failed with 3 different house raids to put us in jail and all of their case was thrown out, when we're that innocent and we're here in America, finally, after that happened and they knew this girl's going to end up on the stand, I've started to get messages again. Because I'm about to win, Jack. You know, the silver lining to all this is, and I'm going to answer your original question because I haven't forgotten. I remember, it's just been a long answer. The 3 lives. First, they try and shut you up. They tried that. Everyone they silenced before me went away. I got bigger. First guy in history. Now, if you silence someone, everyone's copied my tactic. But I invented it. Second, you try and put him in jail. Third, you kill him. I am lucky that I had the past I had. I'm lucky I had a webcam studio. That's not human trafficking. There's OnlyFans girls all over LA. It's not illegal. I'm lucky I had lots of girlfriends. Lucky I've slept with a lot of women. Lucky I've made racist jokes. Lucky I've done a bunch of things. Lucky I bought cars. Lucky I missed a little bit of tax. Because the UK government, by the way, when I was in jail, when I was on house arrest, all that money they froze in August when they deleted all my things, the mass banning, when they deleted me from everything and all the apps on my phone were frozen, they froze all my bank accounts. The UK government decided that was proceeds of crime and stole it all. It's only 4 or 5 million I kept in there, but they kept it all. Of course they did. I'm lucky I did these things because killing people is messy. And killing people makes them a hero. So when they decided I had to go after the first life of deleting me failed because of the affiliates, they thought, well, killing him is messy and it makes him a hero and it proves him right about everything the Matrix said. Luckily, this guy has lived such a fucking interesting life, we can find something to pin on him. We have the corrupt Romanian state. We have a bunch of women he's fucked. We can lean on the women. We can pressure the girls. We can get the leaderboard of how much he spent on each girl. We'll get one girl to cry rape, and we'll get him, bang him up. Why kill him? In fact, it's more torturous to leave him in that jail. It's worse than death. And they're right. It is. I'd rather die than spend my life in there. If you live too clean, let's imagine you pay your taxes and you get married and you're a good Christian man and you do the right thing all the time and they need to get rid of you and there's seriously no traction for option 2. There's not a single thing they can find to charge you with. You know what happens? Some crazy guy shoots you in the neck while you're speaking at a rally. So if option 2 isn't even feasible, they jump right to option 3. They wanted to kill me, but they thought his past is messy enough that we can get him. We can set him up. That's the only reason I'm not dead. And the only reason they want me to kill myself is because then I'd lose aura as a hero. That's why when I kept saying, you had to kill me, they didn't want to do it. They kept believing if we keep relying on the corruption of the Romanian state, we're going to get him. Because he has fucked women. I've fucked women. It's true. I've made racist jokes. That's true. It's enough. We can get something. If you're like Charlie and you're too clean, they can't get you. And then you really die. So the reason I feel so sorry for what happened to Charlie is I know how these people work. And I know they sat around a table, just like they did with me. With me, they sat around the table like, he's in Romania, corrupt. Here, he's fucked lots of women. He talks on the internet. He didn't pay this bit of tax back in 2011. Whatever, fucking get him. With Charlie, they're like, taxes are paid. Never had a speeding ticket. Married his wife. Never called the cop. It's clean as a fucking whistle. What can the DOJ get this guy for? Nothing. Then you got to kill him. So for Charlie, they skipped stage 2. For me, my silver lining is I've lived an interesting enough life for them to attempt stage 2. But that doesn't mean I've ever broken the law. Doesn't mean I've ever done anything wrong. Doesn't mean what happened to me was fair. None of this should have fucking happened to me, ever. And now that girl A, who began it all, is about to be deposed, the messages are back. Coincidentally, she wants to settle. The number for the sponsorship contract was $50 million across 3 years. And I've just been offered $50 million if I drop my case, if I don't mention it ever again, and I shut up. But then I don't get my day in the sun, Jack. Then I don't get to put her on the stand and everyone say what she did. And everyone apologize to me. And finally, all my suffering was worth it. Because if I take $50 million, my life doesn't change. I have enough money. Not the richest man in the world, but I've done well. I'm a smart guy. But I want everyone to see how I was set up. But if I turn down the money that made them use option 1 and 2, and then I turn it down again, they only have option 3 left. And that's why we're making this video. Because I have a terrible suspicion that I won't make it to trial. And if that happens, that's when I want you to release this video. That's where we currently are right now in my entire legal predicament. And they know they are fucked on every level. On the funding of this fucking NGO, on this fucking liar, her being paid in advance, her legal defense, the Romanian state, the British corruption, all of this fucking comes crashing down because they tried to get one guy, me, for doing what? Having a school, encouraging young men to go to the fucking gym. Trial's in December. It's currently May. I'm going to go to Kazakhstan and hide in the mountains for a while. I'm going to pop back up in December. And if I make it, it's going to be Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, times 1,000. Because the evidence in our thought, you'd be amazed how, in fact, I think the British state are going to be very unhappy when they see that we have the letters from the Foreign Office to the Romanians. I have everything. I managed to get everything. Because when you enact yourself with a corrupt mercenary like the Romanian state, they turn both ways. Oh, the Brits made us do it. Once it's not in their favor, they're all tough guys when you need them to do something. They're like, oh, England told us to. I don't hear, look, England. But my problems are beginning again, Jack. I'm back to where I was at the beginning of this story, with strange offers and weird messages and a feeling that something is coming. And I don't know what it is.
I'll let you answer this however you would like to, but the NGOs, do college endowments invest in those NGOs?
Big education is exactly the same as big pharma. Big education has the largest racket on the planet because they have a monopoly over lending money to young people. An 18-year-old cannot access money to start a business, and they cannot access money to buy a house, and they cannot access money for the stock market or a car. They can only access money for a scam education that doesn't work. They have a monopoly over indebting slaves, putting slaves in debt when they are teenage. That is one of the most powerful rackets on the planet. If I told everyone I went up against big pharma and they came for me, they'd understand it. I went up against big education. Oh, the schools are good. No, they're not. The schools use the banks to enslave the populace. The schools are where they teach everyone these liberal ideas. The schools are indoctrination camps. Not only am I taking money out of their pockets by teaching our people, I'm also taking their ability to brainwash people away from them because they're joining my school and learning the opposite idea. People were joining my school saying, I've joined your school to make enough money to go to university. And once they started making money, they're like, I don't need university because my school works. The reason they need a monopoly over lending money to young people is that if there was fair choice, if you gave every young person 100 grand and said, decide what you want to do with it, no one would choose a degree. I said, for $49 a month, I'll teach you how to make money online. You can spend that $49 on Pizza Hut or me. And they still chose me because my product works. The school works. We teach people how to make money for real. It works. And that's what they're scared of. They can't call it a scam. The BBC themselves can't print the school's a scam. Every time, please play this clip on LBC radio. Someone called into the radio and they were talking about my school saying it's a scam. He said, I'm a student. I make loads of money. I've retired my mom. I bought a house.
He has personally helped me.
How's he helped you? Tell me.
Because I've left my job. I was a part of his Hustlers University. One part is 12 areas where verified millionaires teach you how to become wealthy. I was earning about, after taxes, probably 9K before, and now I'm well over that, and I can provide for my family. And I'm only 23 years old. I've retired my mother, and I also have taken care of my
You have
siblings'
retired
tuition
your
loans.
mother?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Is she a
She doesn't
racehorse?
have, is it not good to take care of your family?
Oh, but it's still a scam. He goes, how's it a scam? I paid $49 and made $100,000. It's a scam. How is that a fucking scam? No, what's a scam is what you teach. They've tried to slander the school and it's so effective they can't. So all they can do instead is try and hack it, take it down, and say the person who started it is a human trafficker or kill me. NGO's name is La Strada. La Strada. La Strada paid girl A in advance before she went to Romania. La Strada are paying for her current legal defense. After she accused us, 5 days in Romania, she left Romania and went to the south of France. Her ticket to the south of France and the hotel she stayed in was paid for by La Strada. La Strada is an NGO which is anti-human trafficking. So why are they paying people in advance and sending them to make human trafficking accusations? Because the media doesn't report on what has happened. It softens you up for what was going to happen. NGOs don't fix problems that they don't create. It's all a setup. Who funds La Strada? A bunch of other NGOs. Who funds those NGOs? USAID. The same fucking Soros deep left matrix bullshit as everything else. I'll let someone else do the deep dive on the funding of these fucking corrupt clowns. The point is, they set me up, and now they're about to lose. Imagine the frustration of my enemies. We put him in jail in Romania, he got out. We tried to break his mind, he wouldn't quit. We took his business and his money, he wouldn't quit. We attacked the mothers of his kids, he wouldn't quit. We hit him with an extradition warrant, he managed to escape. We hit him with another Romanian case, he managed to escape that. The whole time we're trying to convince him to kill himself, he won't quit, he won't give up. We've offered him money. We've offered him to give up. We've offered him capitulation. We've offered him to make all of it go away. We've offered him everything. He's still fighting. He won't give up, but it's fine because he's trapped in Romania and he's trapped there and then he gets sent to England. And then like Julian Assange, he's going to vanish in Belmarsh for 12 years, 15 years. because we all know England is really fair. Julian Assange supposedly raped someone in 1981 and went to jail in England until he decided to not post on WikiLeaks. And then, so where's that girl here? They let him go now with, okay, well, she never existed? They're going to Julian Assange me. So don't worry about it. He's escaped all these things and he won't kill himself, and he's so persistent, and his women won't turn on him, and he's fucking resisting us, and he keeps talking on the internet. But you know what? He's trapped in Romania, so we're going to get hold of him. He's in America. How the fuck did he get to America? Oh, it's okay. We have the corrupt AG of Florida. They open an investigation. He hasn't done anything. There's nothing to fucking find. He doesn't even have a bank account to look at because we fucking took them all. What are you going to do? Wipes his phone every night. He's paranoid. And now he's about to depose girl A on television. What moves do we have left, team? Well, we can try and convince him to kill himself again. That's not going to work. We can offer him money again. 48 hours ago, they found out that doesn't work. So there's 3 lives. And they've already discussed it. No doubt about it. Because it's a pretty obvious choice. I fly on private jets. I drive fast cars. People don't like me. I'm a misogynist. You know, I might just be some crazy guy. It's always some crazy guy, isn't it?
How much money could they pay you to shut up?
Some men don't want money, Jack. They just want to watch the world burn. And the world which I want to burn is this piece of shit, corrupt, scumbag, misandric fucking shithole that we've built in these liberal democracies. Every single element of this, the whole story I've told, is corrupt, head to toe, all of it. All because I told young men to go to the gym. I don't want money. If they want me to go away, I want a minister for men's rights in government. I want all these girls who make fake Me Too accusations to go to jail. I want men to be treated like people. I want fair, equal treatment. That's it. We talk about feminism and how women need equal rights. They have more rights than us in every single metric and regard. More men commit suicide. More men fucking go to jail. Men have the worst lives. We build the roads, we build the buildings, we die in ditches. A woman can lie about us, destroy our life at random. I'm tired of it. No. I've been through all of this shit because I was sticking up for men in the beginning, and that's the only way it's going to end. When they put in a minister for men's rights and when they start jailing women for false accusations against men, en masse, because most of them are false, when they stop weaponizing the judicial system against men who simply want to see their own children, when they drop all this bullshit where men are getting completely wrecked in divorce court, in custody court, when they drop all that shit, if they were to come to me with a proposal to drop all that shit, I'd shut up. But if they don't, it is important, and it is bigger than me, that I put her on the stand, just like Johnny Depp did with Amber Heard, and expose the fucking lies these women tell and the corruption of the system behind them. So my mission's bigger than me. So I don't need the money. I have money. 50 million doesn't change my life, as they found out 48 hours ago. But I know that they are getting desperate. Because what they have attempted to do, it is a miracle that it failed. I'm not going to put it down to my own genius. I'm only going to put it down to the fact that I paid attention for every opportunity, my unmatched perspicacity, and no matter how much I felt like quitting, I was indefatigable. I didn't quit, as my father once said. Unmatched perspicacity and sheer indefatigability makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor, even against the fucking government of the United Kingdom and Romania itself, even against the Matrix itself. The fact that I refuse to quit, I refuse to give in, I refuse to do what they want, I refuse to stop talking, I wouldn't quit, I wouldn't go away, I wouldn't stop, and I paid attention to every single fucking advantage I could use against them. That's it. That's why I'm sitting here. And a whole bunch of luck and God. It's a miracle. But they know they're out of options. Besides, take my third lie.
What lie did you tell yourself to keep yourself sane through all this?
You know the funny thing about staying sane? It's kind of overrated. You have to optimize your life and optimize yourself for an objective. If your objective is to stay sane, then you have to sacrifice certain degrees of competency. For example, an insane man is more scary than a sane man. If you're optimizing to be scary, then there's nothing wrong with being insane. I optimized my mind and my life for resistance. And I realized I was better at resisting if I wasn't afraid of them. And I could only be fearless if I was a little bit insane. I wasn't trying to grasp onto sanity, Jack. I wasn't worried about getting my mind back. As I felt myself losing grip on the standard version of life, which I understood, as I caught myself only sleeping 3 nights a week, as I caught myself becoming more and more prepared to do outlandish and crazy things to prove that I wasn't scared of them, I was like, good. I don't need sleep. I don't need to go back to happy little Andrew. No, I don't need to go back to happy millionaire with his cars. No, I need to be this person so that when they arrest me, I'm like, good, come. So that I get back on my podcast and call them fucking corrupt. Sanity in and of itself is an optimization point that wasn't in my mind. I didn't care about sanity. I didn't see the end of this. I still don't see the end of this. I'm in Beverly Hills in a mansion. Great. I have to survive till December. I don't think, truthfully, in my heart, there's a happy ending. So if I don't think there's a happy ending, what the fuck do I want to be sane for? If I'm sane, I'm going to give up. If I'm sane, I take the 50 mil, Jack. If I'm sane, I take their money and forget all this and move on with a nice, happy life. Take the money and go, at least I got paid, doop-de-doo, and go fuck some girls on a boat. That's what a sane man would do. What kind of fucking idiot would escape the jaws of a tiger and go back for his hat? What kind of dumbass would escape these people, and when he's finally free, when he finally breaks out, turn around and walk back with a stick saying, no, you started this fight. Outnumbered 100 to 1. What kind of sane man does that? This has nothing to do with sanity. I'm 40 years old. I've lived enough. Fuck them. And when this video comes out, after they do whatever they're going to do to me, everyone's going to fucking understand that I made the brave choice. I'm not the guy who always wins, Jack. I'm the guy who will always fucking fight, and I don't quit. Fuck them. Fuck them. They want me to go away. That's what they want. They want me to take the same choice. That's what they want. No. No. They attacked me first, they jumped me, and they beat the fuck out of me, and it was unfair. And now they've stopped, and now I've gotten up, and I should just walk home. And instead, I'm going to try and fight them all again. Everything has started again, and I've analyzed this. You said game theory. I've analyzed this. There's too much on the line for me to win. $1 billion from Romania. At least another $1 billion from the UK. Prime ministers losing their job. The Foreign Office, all the civil service, all their corruption, all of that shit. The NGOs, USAID, Lustrada, all their fucking lawyers, all my assets. The Romanians still, even after they gave my passports back, kept all my money. They still have all my money and all my watches, all my stuff, all my gold. They still have my stuff. All of this stuff. If I sue girl A and my lawsuit in Florida is successful, then my school also, the attacks on that. Wait till I find out who's behind that and all that blows up again. They still lost control of the narrative. The reason this all started, they haven't fixed. No one believes I'm guilty. I've beaten them. There's so much on the line. They can't let me win. It's like Epstein. You just can't let him breathe. He knows too much. Too much has fucking happened. Too many people are going to burn. He has to die. They knew they'd get caught. And I say get caught. They didn't get caught as individuals, but we know they did it. Everyone knows they did it. They knew we'd know. But they had no choice because there was too much on the line. There's too much on the fucking line to let me just depose this girl and win. So what's the alternative? They've tried to lock me up. That ain't working. They tried to delete me. That ain't working. Everyone's got their social media accounts back, but me. Remember, they're like, oh, conservative. Zuck's a conservative now. I'm at the UFC. I'm a conservative. Okay, Zuck, where's my Instagram? National security threat, terrorists. They have one move left. They tried the letters. That ain't going to work. They tried the money 2 days ago. That ain't going to work. They're going to try to kill me. And if they are successful, if they do kill me, all I hope is that this video is watched by as many people as possible so that something happens and changes. Because if you're a man who speaks the truth, your ability to speak freely is directly correlated to your insignificance. You are only allowed to talk the truth if nobody listens to you. If people are listening to you, if you become the most Googled man on the planet and you're saying the right things, they will do everything they fucking can to take you down.
Who are 5 people you want to say fuck you to?
I've heavily analyzed, like, my enemies are in the shadows. Who is behind Lestrada? Who is, who from the UK Foreign Office typed the letter? Who are the psychologists who told me to kill myself? My enemies are in the shadows. And they've sent these odd faces to the front, like the prosecutor and the guy who tried to take the Portuguese man's cars and this garbage. I'd be a fool to consider them my enemies. They're just pawns. My enemies are the king and the queen. I don't know who they are. That's why you can't get them, because you don't know who they are. The people who are really in charge of the world, we don't know who they are. We don't know who makes these calls. That's why they keep getting away with it. But you still would have a temptation in my position to say fuck you to the faces you do know. But I don't really have that temptation because, to be honest with you, I have analyzed my performance throughout this saga so heavily. And I think I've annoyed them more than they've annoyed me. I think I've won. I think they're so frustrated with me. I think that the Daily Telegraph, which printed 3 days ago, Andrew Tate must be extradited urgently. That's not an organic piece from the media. Why would the media be talking about me 4 years later? Why would the media print about me every single day, no matter what, on repeat? Because they're instructed to by the state, because they're a propaganda arm. So we must urgently get Andrew Tate, says the Telegraph, because the British government told them to. And that just shows how pathetic and frustrated they are. When they call a hotel in Hong Kong, please kick him out. And the owner goes, I'm not going to kick you out. They're losers. I'm like, I know they're losers. And then I post from the hotel having a cigar on my Twitter. Imagine thinking you're the big boss and you're like working for the government. You're a spy. You're James Bond working for MI6 and little old Andrew's making a fucking dickhead out of you. I think I've annoyed them far more than they'll ever annoy me. And I think even if they kill me, it's the same. Even if they kill me, I get to be a hero forever. It's fine. I'm sure dying will suck, but then I'll be dead.
Do you fear death?
I fear dying. I don't think you can fear death because you're dead then. I fear dying. I'm worried about the people I'm going to leave behind. But I'm almost there, bro. I'm 40. I've got 20, 30 years left anyway. And I've lived more life than most men will ever live in 100 years. So I can't complain about my experiences. I've had it from the bottom. I've had Romanian jail and all this shit, Bugattis, private jets, the most beautiful women on the planet, endless children, endless money, fame, most famous man in the world, a fighter, a chess player. I've done everything. I've done everything. I've had a great life. But I don't want to say fuck you to anybody because I believe that somehow, in the end, things work out fair. And if I end up dead, that's fine, because I believe there's going to be some degree of karmic justice for the people who did this to me.
I really think we should add, if this is your last podcast, what is the one thing you want men to remember?
I recently lost a boxing match, and everyone says to me, Andrew, why'd you do that? You're too old to fight. Who does this and then goes and fights? Of course I lost. The fuck? Who does this? And when the second he's free, gets in there with someone 40 kilo, 50 pounds heavier than him and 15 years younger than him and 2 inches taller than him. What kind of idiot? People ask me, does it bother you because you were top G and you lost this fight? I always, when presented with the 2 pieces of paper, when I was presented with the red pill and the blue pill, I have always my entire life taken the brave choice. At the time of filming of this podcast, I have just rejected their $50 million to drop my case and make all this go away. I just took a brave choice. And now they're all sitting around a table deciding what they can do. And I'm not even saying they're bad people. As funny as this sounds, I'm not even going to say they're evil. I guarantee they're saying, is there anything we can do besides kill it? Problem is, the list is getting thin. And soon the conversation is going to turn to, there's nothing else left. We either kill him or we let him win. Nothing else is working. We either kill him or we let him win. Well, what happens if he wins? Everything. Everyone's fucked. And then they have to make a choice. Do we want to tear the whole system down that pays us and pays our kids and the system we believe in and the system we built for one guy? Or does he want to be in a plane accident? Planes crash, bro. Shit happens. The world moves on. Epstein died. The world's moved on just fine. Shit happens. So I want people to understand that no matter what happens to me, I never feel regret, even if it all goes wrong, because I'm proud of my track record of always choosing the brave choice. When we last did a podcast, my security team and I spotted a tail about 2 days before our last podcast, and we noticed we were being followed. Now, with some investigation, we believe it may have just been people who wanted to rob us, but at the time, we thought it might have been a more serious threat. And that's why I was acting the way I was when I last saw you. With the security teams I had, and I was so concerned, and I was really worried, and I wanted to come in the middle of the night, and I had so many guys outside with guns, etc. This is no way to live, truthfully. There's no way to live. The sword of Damocles is far more intimidating than the grapes are tasty. And I actually think the reason I've said no to them is because if I say yes to them, I think that they may still consider killing me. So what I'm going to do, instead of living this way for the rest of my life as a king with that sword over my head, I'm going to force a decision. Either I'm going to fucking win or you're going to kill me.
Well, everyone, this has been your guest, Andrew Tate. This is the Jack Neal Podcast. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, sir.
We'll do another one soon.
All right, guys, that wraps up the 3-hour interview with Andrew Tate. All right, guys. Should be set up pretty good here. But yeah, wow, guys, that was pretty touching. The way he explained everything. You know, I've said this on my last lives, is that this can happen to any one of us. And if you watch any of his material, as far as his emergency meetings, he explains how one accusation can lead to as much as it has. So what I plan to do is replay the stream, guys. So if you enjoy this, remember to hit the like button. What we're going to do is replay the stream for anyone who missed the introduction of the video or the interview. You guys are going to have the opportunity to hear it back once again. So I just wanted to check in with you guys and give you guys my thoughts. But yeah, without further ado, we're going to replay the video. So hope you guys enjoy.
Andrew, 2 years ago, you and I sat in Romania for a 5-hour conversation. I opened with a quote from you that you haven't fully been able to explain until now. First, they try and cancel you. then they put you in jail. And if that doesn't work, they kill you. Andrew Tate, what's the real reason you were canceled? And what's the real reason you were put in jail?
Well, thank you for taking the time to do this, Jack. I'm not sure when this is going to see the light of day. However, a lot of the intimidation tactics against me are intensifying. And I've realized that many people at home who have witnessed parts of this story haven't seen or understood the entire story. And I've never told the entire story of what they actually did to me. So I feel like perhaps in case something happens to me, or perhaps they'll be successful. It certainly sounds like from the messages I'm getting that something is going to happen pretty soon, that I should just explain from the start of the very beginning of the story all the way to the end what they did to me and what everybody witnessed and what they're trying to do right now. And I think by the time I've done that, and it may take a little while, I'll be able to answer that question a little bit better.
So does this story start with Big Brother 2016 or December 29th, 2022?
This story begins a little bit before December 29th, 2022. And I've got a whiteboard here because it's quite a complicated story I want to explain to everybody. In fact, this story, like all good stories, begins with a beautiful woman, because that's how all stories begin. I was in Dubai with a beautiful girl from Sweden, and she was 6'1" and she was gorgeous. And we were living together in Dubai. And then she said to me, I'm thinking of going back to school. I said, why would you do that? That's the biggest waste of time in the world. She said, no, I want to go back to Stockholm and get a degree. I said, your man is a millionaire. I'm rich. I've retired from my webcam days. I'm living in Dubai. I'm a rich man. Why would you want to go back and do this schooling when you have me? She said, well, I want to get qualifications and I don't know what else to do. What else is there to do? And I remember sitting across the table from her and I thought, that's a good point. What else is there to do? There is nothing else to do but go and waste your time getting one of these degrees, spending 4 years, spending $300,000. Everybody knows it's a waste of time. But if you can't get the job you want, or you can't get a job that pays a lot of money, nobody knows what else to do. So you just go and you give your money to mainstream education. So when she said that to me, I said, you're right. There is nothing else to do. And I called Tristan and I said, we're going to start a school. He's like, what? I said, we're going to start a school. We're going to start an alternative to traditional education, which everybody knows is a waste of time. We have a huge opportunity here. Everybody knows this particular product is a waste of time. It's extremely expensive and people are being forced to do it because there's no alternative. So let's give everyone an alternative. People want money. They don't want a degree. They don't want to go and study for 4 years. They want money. They want it today. We're going to teach people how to do that. Hustlers University. And we're going to open our own school and it's going to be nice and simple. So I called up a few people I knew. I called up a guy who made money with stock trading, called up a guy I knew who made money with drop shipping, e-com, called up a guy who made money with crypto trading. And I said, look, I'm going to be the big mouth at the front of it. I'm going to use my wealth and my influence to attract people to this school. And you're going to do 5 or 6 hours a day of live calls and convince people and show people how to make money online. We're going to get a Discord server. We're going to attach a Stripe account. Nice and easy. Monthly subscriptions. Split it all up. It's going to be nice and easy. They're all like, yeah, we'll try it. See how it goes. Turns out, because I'm a genius, it was very successful. Within the first week, we had 25,000 paying students. 25,000 students paying $50 a month in a week. We now have a real business. You know, it's kind of interesting. We're here in Los Angeles right now, and I asked you to do this podcast. And while we're here, it's the Milken Conference. And I'm talking to a lot of people who own these fintech companies, these edtech companies. They could never, in a million years, there's no technology company that can start day one, no cash raise, no debt, giving away no equity, just us, without raising a single penny. All of a sudden, we have 25,000 students paying $50 a month. We're turning over, whatever that is, $2, $3, $4 million a month at 80% margin. From day one, we're an ultra profitable company. At a 10 or 15x multiplier, we're a $300 or $400 million business on day one. So everything is going pretty well. Everything's going swimmingly. I'm promoting this school. The girls moved to Sweden. Don't care about her anymore. I'm buying more Lamborghinis. Me and the professors are all making money. Everything is going well. These are the days of 2020, 2021. People remember me on the internet. I was more of a fringe internet celebrity. And I was telling people the truth. I wasn't scamming anyone. I was saying to the young men, if you want to make money, I'll teach you how to make money. But what I didn't realize is that I was getting into a war with big education. And big education, very much like big pharma, don't like when you take their money away. So as my school grows, as I promote it, and off the top of my head, if I use ninja memory, I had around 36,000 students at this point. I got an offer. And I'm going to write some things down because at the end of this, I want everything to make sense. And it was a sponsorship offer. So I'm going to write down sponsorship. I got approached, and I'm going to leave out certain names just in case I do manage to get out of this mess. I got approached not to buy my company off of me, which is what I thought the offer was initially. I thought I was going to sell out for 400M. I started a company 9 months later, 400M, nice and easy, right? Because people are buying technology companies that are in debt. People are buying technology companies that don't make money. People are buying technology companies that are running at a loss. I'm running at 80% margin doing millions of dollars a week. But no, instead they said, we want to sponsor you personally, Andrew. And we want you to shut up about certain things, not push the school, not say certain things, instead have certain
Wow, so it looks like the audio was turned off. So again, guys, to repeat myself, hit the like button. You know, if you're enjoying this so far, you know, it helps his message be heard and be reached to more people. We need his side of the story to reach as many people as possible. Guys, this should, you know, concern you, right? We hear different allegations from different people, from, you know, all sorts of celebrities and influencers, actors, right? We hear the accusations a lot. And this is something that Tate has vocally expressed throughout the years, how they will come and what it is to expect from, you know, things attached to his name. So we're hearing different sides of the story. We're hearing articles, we're seeing media, but it's very important that his side of the story is put out there as much as possible, guys. Every like matters, and yeah, take the moment to just hit the like button. For all the new viewers who are in, we're replaying the interview from start. I've been watching it for the past couple of days now, and I have it on repeat for any of the people who are, you know, asking, hey, why is it you keep playing it or whatever. It's because, you know, it's to catch things we've missed before, right? They say you don't understand a book until you read it 3 or 4 times. So we're watching this again and again to catch little things we could have missed. and to hear parts of the story that could have went unheard, right? Because every detail matters, and it's very important that his side of the story is put out there. You guys follow my channel for dating advice, and you guys look into the content that I put out there when it comes to like getting dates and meeting up with different girls and things like this. We gotta be very careful, because all it takes is one accusation, right? And it can be completely false, right? These guys went through 4 years worth of punishment, right, without a charge, and now he's been arrested for a warrant that has already been satisfied in the Romanian courts, right? So this is why it's important to replay this 3-4 times and watch this interview 3-4 times, because it's these little details that could help Tate in his situation, right? And I believe his lawyer already expressed this to the U.S. courts, that his specific extradition warrant has already been satisfied. Yet, they still arrested him, which, like Clavicular said, is an embarrassment in a sense, right? For, U.S. to arrest him for a warrant that has already been satisfied. So it's these little details, guys, that matter a lot, and we're gonna catch them when we replay this. So this is why I'm replaying this 3-4 times. It's a long interview. Some of you guys leave and come back. Some of you guys only have maybe 5 or 10 minutes to watch it, but we're gonna run this 3-4 times today for all the viewers who aren't able to catch it all. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna replay it now. Enough talking on my end. And I have myself on mute, but as you can see, I'm working out. I'm doing some things around the house, but I'm still having the audio, right? So I'm gonna play the video back now for all the viewers who are sticking around. I appreciate all the likes and support. And yeah, guys, let's get back to the video. Thank you.
Certain opinions on certain topics, and in return, we're going to give you $50 million. It was a 3-year contract, $50 million. I sat there and thought, 16, 17 million a year, I'm making that already. And I get to say whatever I want. So I don't really want your sponsorship contract, because it comes with all these rules. You're trying to tell me what to say. Maybe I'm, Jack, maybe I'm stupid. But I thought, what's the point in having money if you can't say what you want? Women can't drive. Sorry. It's the truth. And I'm going to say it. So I said, I'm not that interested. Thank you very much. And they said, but we have the best PR teams. So if anything bad ever comes out or anything negative is said about you in the press, our PR teams can help with that. I said, well, I don't need a PR team. At this point, I'm a fringe internet celebrity, right? I'm not in the mainstream media. Like, I don't care about your PR team. And they said, and we have the best legal teams. So if you ever get any trouble to protect our investment into you, we're going to make sure you have the best legal counsel. I said, I'm not in any trouble. I haven't done anything wrong. So why do I need this legal protection either? I was unaware at the time in my ignorance that those were threats. They were saying that our PR teams, which could help you, could also wreck you. And our legal teams, which could help you, could also wreck you. They were veiled threats. I didn't understand that. So I declined their sponsorship offer.
What was the industry?
It was a conglomerate, and they had significant interest in, let's say, clothing, perfumes, the standard things you'd expect a Hollywood A-lister to be pushing on a billboard. Standard, normal stuff. And then those people are very careful about what they say on certain subjects, for sure. But I thought, I don't really want to be owned, and this school's going somewhere. Like, we gain students every single day. I am going to take down the education industry. Me, Andrew Tate, one guy in Romania in his house. Me and my 6 friends on a Telegram chat are running a $400 million business. I'm going to take it all down. I don't need your money. Don't tell me what to say. I'm the top G. Go away. So I declined the sponsorship contract. They kept reminding me about these PR teams, these legal teams. So why do they keep saying this to me? I don't need PR. I don't need a lawyer. And they must have sat there and thought, this idiot doesn't understand what we're saying. So I declined the sponsorship contract. We continue to grow. A few months after that, Tristan gets a message from a girl. Can't say her name because there's open litigation. We'll call her Girl A. Girl, she's the beginning. She's the omega. She's the source of this. Girl A lives in Miami. Tristan knew her from a few years before. And she messages Tristan, hey, I want to come see you in Romania. Tristan's like, why? I've always wanted to see you in Romania. Tristan's like, okay then. And sends her a picture of his debit card and said, see you soon. She books herself a first-class flight, flies to Romania. So we have girl A. All of this will tie together at the end. Girl A. Girl A books herself a business class flight and flies to Romania. Now, the interesting thing about girl A, who subsequently destroyed my life, I only said hello to her twice. I don't know this person. Tristan knows a lot of girls. One day there's a girl at the house. Who's this? Oh, I knew her from Miami. She wanted to come. Cool. I don't care. Why would I care? Hi. Whatever. She's there for 4 or 5 days. During those 5 days that she's in Romania for 5 days. 3 of the days, Tristan and I weren't even in the country. We were away. England, I believe. The rest of the time, she's going to the cinema, hanging out with Tristan's other girlfriends, hanging out with my girlfriends, hanging out with our personal assistant, Georgiana, who ends up going to jail, hanging out. And after about 5 or 6 days, she vanished. And I said to Tristan, where's girl A gone? He goes, I don't know. She blocked me and left. It's like, why? He goes, probably got jealous of my other girlfriends. Like, yeah, probably. Who cares, right? We're just guys. We're making money. We go to school. We got a big mansion. We got Lamborghinis. Girl A wants to come. Girls always want to come. There's 100 girls by the pool. Who cares? Girl A comes. Girl A vanishes. No one thinks anything of it. About 3 days after girl A vanished, April of 2022, we were sitting in our house at 1 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon when armed police turn up. SWAT. And the SWAT raid our house, bust down our door, and running with machine guns, pointing weapons everywhere and yelling at us to get on the ground. And of course, we comply and say that they're there because there has been a human trafficking allegation against my brother and I, which has been instigated from the American embassy. So they didn't just send the normal police. They sent the anti-terror police, because when the American embassy calls the police, it's a different kind of response. If you're a normal person in Romania and you call the police, they'll send a police car or a guy. No, this was the full army tanks, 30 dudes, head-to-toe SWAT.
Did you have security at this time?
We did have security. At this time, it wasn't to the point that we currently have security. We just had like a guy who watched. But they put MP5s in his face. And he was like, whoa. You know, my paycheck is my paycheck, but what's all this? So these guys bust in April of 2022. Please find and play the clips of our first ever arrest, because that's what I'm talking about. Our first one. They say, we're here for human trafficking and kidnapping. We're like, with all due respect, officer, what the fuck are you talking about? And they said, girl A has reported to the American embassy that there are kidnap victims and victims of human trafficking in this residence. I turned to Tristan and I said, Tristan, she's a 7. Look at all the mess you got us in. She's not even a 9. She's a 7. Tristan laughs. I laugh. The police officer laughs. Everyone laughs. They look around the house. The house was completely empty. It was just Tristan and I there. No victims. We'd had no friends there. No girls. No one's there. They searched the entire house for drugs. They looked for drugs because girl A also reported us for being drug dealers and steroid abusers. All this list of crimes. They find no drugs. They find no steroids. They find no contraband of any kind. Our firearms are licensed. So that's not against the law. They go through the entire house in a 4-hour house search. They then seize some of our goods. I'm going to go into seized goods later. They take all the cash they can find, all of our diamond watches, our bars of gold. They left the cars at this point, but they took anything valuable we had laying around, watches, gold, jewelry, this kind of thing. I don't know why, but they did. So now we have the assets.
What's your estimate on the number of assets taken on that one?
Well, there was a lot of house raids, but on that particular house raid, I'd say all in all, in cash, about 100 grand, and in watches, about 500 grand. So about 600 grand of assets in the first raid. But no bank accounts, no crypto exchanges, no cars, just things they had laying around the house. I explained why they had to do that. They said it's protocol in Romania in case he's proven to be proceeds of crime. It's like crime. There's not even a girl in this house. Who have I kidnapped? They're like, yeah, we're just responding to the American embassy. We don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. We're just the muscle. You have to go talk to the detective. The detective's in the office at DCOT. It's like, who the fuck are DCOT? Never heard of DCOT before. Turns out they'd be my best friends later on. He goes, yeah, there's a guy at DCOT office waiting for you. We just have to come here, search for victims, take the money. We're the muscle. So after searching our entire house for 5 or 6 hours, the media is now outside at this point, so there will be video of this. They put us in cars. Media's outside saying human trafficking investigation, all this stuff. They start to slander our name with all this garbage. And they drive us to DCOT's head office. We get there around 11 p.m. House raid began at 1 p.m., in the afternoon. 11 p.m., we walk into this office, and there's a prosecutor sitting there. We sit down. The prosecutor says, why did this girl say there was girls kidnapped in your house? And I said, brother, I haven't got a fucking clue. I only said hello to her twice. Ask Tristan. It's Tristan's girlfriend. I don't know. And then the prosecutor goes, well, Tristan should have bought her a handbag, and laughed. And then I laughed. And we all laughed. And I was like, American girls are crazy, bro. Me too. This crap happens. Maybe in Romania it's not a big thing, but in America happens all the time. These girls are nuts. They just make stuff up. He goes, yeah, I heard about that, but I didn't know it's actually this bad. I was like, tell me about it. He goes, why did she call the American embassy? I was like, bro, I don't know. Just tell me what you need from me. You've been to the house. There's no one in the house. We have CCTV in our house. You can take the cameras and see her walking in and out the house by her own free will, getting pizza, going out to party, going to restaurants. You can see it all on camera. Please also find the clip of her walking in and out the house by her own free will, getting Ubers, getting taxis, ordering food, ordering Amazon packages, everything on Tristan's credit card, by the way. It's all there. So we're like, here, take the cameras. Look, do what you got to do, bro. He's like, okay, go home. Cool. So after about an hour and a half of interview, midnight, we go home. Tristan and I sit around the pool laughing. Like, this girl A is crazy. We've lost some money, but this is a big misunderstanding, Jack. Like, we haven't done anything. This is all a misunderstanding. Let's just get back to what we do best, which is focus on promoting our school. Right? So we're on our emergency meeting podcast. We're traveling the world at that point. We have no restrictions of any kind. We're promoting our school. We're going to France. We're going to Italy. We see Dan Bilzerian in France. We're traveling around. We're doing all this stuff. We're having a great time. We're on yachts in Croatia. We're doing all this crazy stuff. And then one day, I call my lawyer and I say, they raided our house in April. It's like July now. Why is that case not closed? And he goes, this is Romania. Everything takes forever. It's a slow system. They're probably going through the CCTV. I was like, yeah, but this is so open and shut. My lawyer's called Alin. I'm like, Alin, this is so open and shut. What could they possibly be doing? He goes, yeah, it's Romania. They probably have to go through all the hours of footage. It's going to take a while. Don't sweat it. I'm like, I had this bad feeling. But what can you do, right? I haven't done anything wrong. So we're still traveling. And now, because of the school, because I'm promoting the school so heavily, I start moving from fringe internet celebrity to mainstream celebrity. I start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I think at the beginning of this story, my Instagram had 100,000 followers. By this point, I'm up to like 2 or 3 million. It's getting bigger and bigger. Back when Instagram mattered, not like now. So we're pushing the school, having a nice time. And then all of a sudden, one day, I was sitting in my cigar room, smoking a cigar. My girlfriend comes in and goes, have you seen this? She passes me her phone. I take her phone, and it's a picture of me. And there's some blurb underneath it about how I'm toxically masculine, I'm a misogynist, a racist, and a homophobe. And I am the reason that the entire culture of the world is wrong. Cancer's my fault. Everything in the world's my fault. I'm the world's worst man, and I'm dangerous and need to be deleted from the internet. And it's on an NGO page for a charity protecting the rights of gays. Well, that's weird. Whatever. And then she goes, and have you seen this? And she scrolls again, and it's the same picture with the same blurb explaining that I'm the worst man in the world. Copy and paste, exact one, on an NGO about wildlife protection. It's like, that is weird. So we open Instagram. I open it on my phone, and this exact picture with the exact same copy and paste wording I find like 7 different accounts, random accounts for random charities and NGOs, posting that I'm the worst person in the world. Now, for anyone watching this, the media does not tell you what has happened. The media's primary objective is to prepare you for what is about to happen. They need to condition your mind so that when they do something, you're ready for it. If they instantly say, you're locked in your house, you can't go outside, there's a revolution. If the media constantly reports about how dangerous it is, how a lockdown might need to happen, how it's unfortunate, but we must prepare for the possibility of a lockdown, over weeks, your mind softens to the idea. So when the lockdown comes, there's no revolution.
It's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise.
What was your comment section like at that time, too?
Well, everyone loves me on my account, but on these accounts where they posted this, there's thousands of people saying, yeah, he's scum, he's scum, he's scum. And I was like, I mean, yeah, I made some jokes. Yes, I said women can't drive. Yes, I said some things, but I mean, I'm not blowing up girls' schools in Iran. Like, come on.
Triple tap.
Triple tap. So I was like, this is a bit out of control. They're conditioning the world for what's about to happen. Now, around this time, someone inside of my school said, we should start an affiliate marketing campus. And I said, that's a good idea. And we started with Amazon products because it's our job to teach all the people inside of our school how to make money online. You're a young man, you join our school, you pay a monthly subscription, and you start earning money same day. And one of the students said, I take affiliate links from Amazon. What I do is I go onto Amazon, I find a lawnmower, I take an affiliate link for that lawnmower, then I buy the lawnmower, and then I use the lawnmower or do lawnmower reviews on TikTok. And then I say, here's the lawnmower I'm using, and I put the link. And every time someone buys the lawnmower, I get paid. Well, that's a great idea. So we got a new professor, a guy I knew, who was in charge of affiliate marketing. And he started doing 4 or 5 hours of calls a day, pushing affiliate marketing. And then a student said, hey, why don't we affiliate market for the school? So that's a good idea. He goes, yeah, the school's great. So why can't I tell other people to join the school from my link and I get paid when they join? So that's another fantastic idea. Why not? So we launched an affiliate marketing campus for the school. And then the problem we were having is a lot of our students are from all over the world, right? So if you're a teenager from Peru and you say, hello, I have joined the school, I make so much money. Everyone's like, yeah, all right, scam, whatever, bro. But people trusted me. So people would say, hey, I don't want to use my own videos. I don't want to use any videos of me. I want to use videos of you, launch a Tate fan page, and then sell with my affiliate link. And I said, fine by me. Now, this was revolutionary at the time. Me, my cousin, when we came up with the affiliate marketing campus, we invented clipping. We ruined the internet. That's how the internet became what it is today. And that was the basic premise behind it. We're not going to copyright strike you. Back then, if someone took your content, you copyrighted it. Not us. Take our content. Take the views money. So people were taking videos of me, posting on their channel, earning hundreds of thousands of dollars in views money, keeping that, plus selling the school and getting paid off that. So everyone was getting rich. And the school starts to explode. Gets up to 271,000 students. I don't want to do the math off the top of my head at around $50 a month. Yeah, 13, 14, $15 million. I was probably keeping between 9 and 10 million American dollars every single month.
How many times were you banned at this point?
I'm not banned.
You've never been banned?
At this point, I haven't been banned. Okay. I haven't been banned. So the affiliate marketing campus is running. But all this NGO stuff starts. And I know how the world works, so I knew they were conditioning people's minds for something. And a perfect example of this, I want everyone at home to understand exactly what I'm saying. Before they got Diddy, they released the tape of him beating up Cassie. That tape of him beating up Cassie in the hotel was 10 years old at the time they released it. They'd been sitting on it for a decade. Why was it never released? Because they didn't want to get him. When they wanted to get him, they then released it, so everyone said Diddy's a piece of shit. So when he got arrested, everyone thought he was already guilty. They knew they were going to arrest him, so they prepared the public for his arrest. So when I saw these NGOs, I was like, they're preparing for something. What are they preparing for? Tristan's like, who gives a shit? Tristan's the optimist in this story. He always has been the whole way through. Who gives a shit? We're fucking rich. We're helping young men how to make money. All of our students make more money than professors, than their teachers. We're doing good in the world. We're teaching young men how to escape the matrix and make money. You're making $10 million a month. We ain't doing nothing wrong. We haven't done anything. Who gives a fuck about what some wildlife or some fucking bullshit homosexual NGO has to say about us? They're just bitter and they're just jealous, haters. Fuck them. Lights a cigar. Tristan. Like, maybe you're right, T. Maybe it doesn't matter. But there was a problem. And the reason I think the NGOs attacked me is because there was a flaw in our master plan. And the flaw in our master plan is that we were working with a mercenary army. So now we have the affiliates, which are linked to the school, Hustlers University. Because the affiliates worked out that they make the most money if they put up the most controversial clips of me. Because if you put up the clip, not the whole clip, where I say in bed that if a girl picks up a machete and tries to attack me, I will take the machete off her, put it in her face and say, shut up, bitch. No, not the whole clip. They take the last part, put a machete in a girl's face and say, shut up, bitch. Only that part. And post that, because that gets the most engagement. That goes the most viral. They get the most sales. And they're mercenaries. They're in it for the money, these students. So in many ways, they're making me look bad. And I say to Tristan, students are making me look kind of bad here, the way they're putting all this stuff out. And Tristan's like, who gives a shit? You're cool. We're making $10 million a month. Who gives a fuck? Bad guy, good guy, what does it matter? So when all of this is going on, the NGOs pop up. And from then on out, from that exact moment, Jack, I knew I was fucked. I just knew I was fucked. But I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. This is in August of 2022. 3 days later, I wake up, and my girlfriend wakes me up next to me. Andrew! I'm like, whoa, what? Look at this. Gives me her phone, and there's a BBC News article. Andrew Tate, misogynistic influencer, is banned from social media for being a dangerous person. Back then, now bans are a common thing. Everyone's desensitized to it. Back then, the only people who had been blanket banned on the internet were Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes. I was number 3. And I was bigger than them. And by this point, I had become, in 2022, because of the affiliate army, the most Googled man on the planet. My mercenary army grew to 28,000 fan pages, posting endless Tate content. Do you remember the days where you couldn't get rid of me? You couldn't get rid of me from the algo. I was TikTok, I was Instagram, I was everywhere. 28,000 kids posting me all day, every day. We built an interactive library of everything I'd ever made. It was all transcribed. So when you went into the interactive library, you'd type Bugatti, every Bugatti clip would come up. You'd type heartbreak. Every time I had ever said heartbreak in any video, because they were transcribed, it would come up. You could make lifestyle edits, and they'd take it all and they'd post it, post. And if